This page is the colorful April 1991 cover of Beep! Powerful Mega Magazine, entirely focused on the Sega Mega Drive. The striking cover art depicts a musical creature with a piano keyboard forming its body, set against a vibrant background, capturing the era's playful energy. Prominently featured are two major articles, one dedicated to the American Genesis console, offering Japanese readers insights into the international version and reviewing some of its software. The other feature presents data from a 1991 user survey, polling Mega Drive owners on their thoughts regarding the system, Klydrom technology, and future game expectations. An included supplement is also highlighted, focusing on three notable RPGs of the time: Shining and the Darkness, Star Odyssey, known as Blue Almanac in Japan, and Arcus Odyssey. The cover also lists several other games covered within, including Valis 2i, Midnight Resistance, Langrisser, Zero Wing, Elysia Dragoon, Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, Verdicts, Zan, Yasha and Bukyoku, Sangokushi Retsuden, and Advanced Daisen Ryaku, demonstrating the magazine's wide coverage of the platform's diverse library. This page features a striking red RPG graphic and a bold blue headline proclaiming, "No one could create such a game." The page is dedicated to highlighting a groundbreaking role-playing experience for the Sega Mega Drive, which is clearly Shining in the Darkness, a title known internationally. The accompanying artwork depicts heroes battling a large beast, setting a classic fantasy adventure tone. The text elaborates on the game's revolutionary aspects, noting the visual presentation, dynamic character reactions, and panoramic views that unfold directly on the screen, creating a new sensation in RPGs that allows players to truly immerse themselves in the world of adventure and dreams. It specifically calls out Shining and the Darkness as the title that realizes this vision and surpasses the imagination. Screenshots at the bottom showcase the game's style. One shows a character interaction with dialogue, and the other depicts the first-person dungeon perspective synonymous with Shining in the Darkness, including enemies and the user interface. The page also displays the Sega Mega Drive console, highlighting the hardware powering this new experience. It mentions the game's price and its March release, positioning it as a significant new arrival on the platform. This page is a striking advertisement for Shining in the Darkness, featuring large, bold graphics that read RPG and Creation or Birth in red, with the game's title, Shining and the Darkness, prominently displayed below. The text describes it as a confident work of a new sensation RPG that excites you, highlighting the immersive experience. Screenshots showcase the game's signature first-person dungeon crawling perspective and character interactions within the town. The page also announces a Spring Re-Present campaign, offering purchasers a chance to win tickets to events like a sports fair or an SST band concert. It reinforces Sega's commitment to this title. This page features two simulation titles from Sega. The top section highlights Bahamut Senki, a fantasy simulation game set in an era of chaos on the continent of Bahamut. Dramatic art of a dragon and rider is shown alongside screenshots depicting strategic gameplay views. The accompanying text encourages players to step up and test their power in this challenging world. It details the price as 6,800 yen, with a release date of March 8th. The lower part of the page showcases Sangokushi Retsuden, internationally known as Romance of the Three Kingdoms Retsuden, another simulation game focusing on the heroes during a period of turmoil. The page announces its scheduled release for April 26th, with the price yet to be determined. There's also a brief announcement about the limited release of the Game Gear Pearl White version. This page features two strategy simulation games for the Mega Drive. The upper section highlights Advanced Daisen Ryaku, German Blitzkrieg Operation, a World War II simulation set on the European front during the invasion of Poland. The text positions the player as a promising officer candidate in the mighty German armored division, tasked with commanding various units like tanks, aircraft, and infantry to achieve victory and potentially become a legendary commander. It lists the price at 8,700 yen and a release date of May 31st. The lower part of the page focuses on Romance of the Three Kingdoms Retsuden, presenting a challenge to the player set in the chaotic land of ancient China. Amidst turmoil, great heroes vie for control of the realm. The text seeks a young general willing to seize the opportunity to make a name for themselves and rise to become a great general through military prowess. Small screenshots show strategic elements, including a map view and unit formations. This section provides evocative flavor text for the historical strategy game, inviting players to participate in this exciting conflict. The bottom includes the Mega Drive logo and details about the console and Sega Enterprise's contact information. This page features the stunning cover art for the action platformer El Viento on the Sega Mega Drive, developed by Wolf Team. The illustration showcases the game's key characters: the protagonist Rest, a skilled warrior gripping his sword, and the powerful magic user Annette, recognizable by her dark hair and intense gaze. A fearsome dragon is depicted in the background, suggesting the epic challenges awaiting players. The Japanese text, which translates to, and then, or, and so, adds a sense of dramatic progression, likely tied to the game's narrative. The standard Mega Drive logo and licensing information are present at the top left, confirming its status as an officially licensed title, while the Wolf Team logo and their contact information are found at the bottom. The next page shifts focus to another action RPG from Wolf Team, Arcus Odyssey, presented here as Episode 2 of the Arcus series arriving on the Mega Drive. Dramatic artwork dominates the page, featuring a fearsome dragon's maw and a prominent illustration of one of the game's heroes, drawn by Mutsumi Inomata. The text sets the stage for the adventure. Peace is broken when the magic sword, Lidi no Ka, is stolen by those seeking to revive the demon Castamira. 4 heroes of light, Jida, Aaron, Diana, and Vid, step forward to confront the impending calamity and the legendary Blood Moon. The game is highlighted for its diverse action stages utilizing exciting SFX, strategic elements like strategic traps, a dynamic NPC support system, and support for feverish twin battle, allowing 2 players to team up. It also boasts a large 8 meters cartridge capacity, enabling a grand world presented in a quarter-view perspective. This page showcases Elysia Dragoon, an exciting fantasy action game from Game Arts for the Sega Mega Drive. The artwork depicts the protagonist, Elysia, a fierce lightning warrior, facing off against a massive serpentine creature, likely the mysterious life-form Sava. The text highlights Elysia's quest to defeat Sava and the evil leader Dolgar, accompanied by her unique monster summon system. This allows players to call upon 8 different types of monsters who fight alongside Elysia, and even level up. Game Arts boasts about achieving ultimate game balance through their new development system, Apogee. The game features 13 stages, uses an 8 meg cartridge with password saves, and credits Studio Gainax for story and visual supervision. The powerful tagline translates to, "Thunder, save my hometown." This page focuses on the RPG Blue Almanac, Romantic Genesis for the Sega Mega Drive. The prominent illustration features a muscular warrior holding a sword, standing over a glowing book, with a female warrior above him, also wielding a sword. They are flanked by 2 eerie skeletal figures against a backdrop of ruined pillars and a cloudy sky. The artwork suggests a blend of fantasy and perhaps a touch of horror or dark magic. The text highlights this as a completely original and full-fledged RPG. A key feature is the fully animated battle scenes, boasting multi-scrolling effects and independent movement for backgrounds, ground, and characters, promising the excitement of an action game. Another notable point is the use of voice synthesis for magic spells, indicating a strong focus on audio presentation. The game is packed onto an 8 megabit room and includes a battery backup function for saving progress. It was scheduled for release in late May with a planned price of 8,700 yen, excluding tax. Published by Kodansha Research Institute. This page unveils Veritex, an intense, vertical scrolling shooter for the Sega Mega Drive. The striking artwork features the game's namesake ship, soaring through the stars, set against a dramatic nebula. The title warns of mankind shocked, a trembling encounter with intelligent life forms, hinting at a compelling narrative. The story summary sets the stage. A distress call from a colony planet, the disappearance of the investigation fleet, and the dispatch of the experimental ship Veritex to uncover the truth. Gameplay highlights include inheriting the spirit of classic shooting games, achieving a super 3D feeling through sophisticated multi-layer scrolling, and promising excitement driven by speed and sound. Screenshots showcase diverse environments, from space battles near planets and asteroid fields to intense combat within organic and mechanical structures. Veritex was released on April 5, 1991, on a 4 megabit cartridge priced at 6,800 yen excluding tax. It represents a significant entry in the Mega Drive shooter library, emphasizing technical prowess and a dramatic sci-fi premise. This page features an advertisement for the Van Tan Design Institute, announcing their new computer creation department with a specialization in game software creation. The page emphasizes the importance of developing both sharp intellect and the ability to leverage technology, positioning the program as a solution to the talent shortage in the computer game industry. The course covers programming basics, along with essential skills in direction, music, production, and character design to cultivate creative professionals. The page highlights popular experience seminars featuring guest lecturers, including Kenji Iijima, known for the game Last Armageddon, and Yukihiro Kuroda, creator of the Tenka Tuitsu series. Information sessions and general admission application details are also provided for the new program. This page provides a preview of the upcoming game Ward Nana no Mori Special, known internationally as Fatal Labyrinth, for the Mega Drive. It showcases the game's premise and various aspects of its gameplay. The story centers around a boy whose friend, a girl, is turned into a crystal by the evil wizard Ward Nana. The boy sets off on a perilous journey to rescue her. The page features 5 screenshots illustrating different areas within the game's procedurally generated dungeons. These include a mysterious forest, a vital shop where players can purchase items like the Sword of the Sun, mechanical areas within a building, withered woods requiring assistance to traverse, and treacherous rooms filled with enemies like the specter-like ghosts or the creature named Bokuru, encountered inside the castle. Accompanying the screenshots are illustrations of key characters and enemies you'll encounter. Wardna himself is depicted, along with some of his strange followers, including the formidable Takanon, a mage, a fearsome skeleton knight, and the rocky Iwan. The text highlights the dangers posed by Wardna's traps and monsters, but assures players that with magic, items, and the aid of fairies, they can overcome these challenges. Success ultimately hinges on skillful control and strategic use of available resources in this challenging dungeon crawler. Fatal Labyrinth was scheduled for a March release, priced at 6,300 yen. This page serves as an exciting glimpse into the game's dark fantasy world and roguelike-inspired gameplay. This page showcases the striking cover art for the Sega Mega Drive game Risky Woods, known in Japan as Mayoi Kondara Inochi Gake. The artwork features the game's protagonist surrounded by fantastical beings such as a wise ancient wizard, a skeletal warrior, and a fearsome gargoyle, set against a dynamic backdrop. The large red text highlights the Japanese title, which translates to, "If you get lost, it's a matter of life or death." A description below labels the game as a cutting-edge timing game set in a fantasy world. It is listed as a licensed Mega Drive title, published by Visco and copyrighted in 1991. This page features the striking cover art for Valis 2 Eyes on the Sega Mega Drive. The artwork prominently displays the 3 main heroines, Yuko AHSO with her iconic sword, Cham in her more agile stance, and Valsana wielding her magical staff. The dramatic composition is set against a cosmic background with a grid overlay. Large Japanese text at the top declares, "We'll meet soon," building anticipation, while text below the characters proclaims, "Starting now, the MD Valis legend. New excitement for you." This visual presentation highlights the game's fantasy action roots and introduces the key characters players will control in this epic adventure. The page serves as a powerful promotional piece for the game's release on the platform in 1991, promising an engaging experience. This page features promotions for 2 exciting titles from Nippon Telenet. On the top left, we see details for the Mega Drive version of Valis 2i, scheduled for release on March 22nd for 8,400 yen. This isn't just a simple port. It promises MD-exclusive original stages and a new package illustration, fully leveraging the console's hardware for a different action stage experience. Below this, the bottom section introduces Jante Monogatari, also known as Reno, Renovation Game, a unique mahjong adventure game set to launch on March 29th for 8,400 yen. The game involves a kidnapping mystery at an all-girls academy, where the protagonist must defeat 13 beautiful, formidable girls in mahjong battles to gather information, utilizing 26 different secret techniques. The striking anime artwork features 2 of the key characters. In the top right corner, a notice promotes the Waku Waku Game Festa, a free event hosted by Nippon Telenet from March 31st to April 2nd in Shinjuku, featuring game demos and discussions with staff. This page features a promotional spread for the dramatic action game Yosei Hunter Yoko, developed by NCS/Messiah for the Mega Drive. Scheduled for release on March 22nd at a price of 6,500 yen, the game utilizes 4 megabits of data. The artwork features the titular character, Yoko, the fairy hunter, with the subtitle, The Seventh Revelation, prominent near the game's logo, which includes a silhouette of Yoko wielding a sword. The page also notes that rentals for the original video animation are starting. This page features a promotional spread for the fantasy simulation RPG Langrisser, known internationally as Warsong, developed by NCS/Messiah for the Mega Drive. The striking artwork showcases the game's heroes, including the protagonist who controls the legendary sword Langrisser, and rivals, emphasizing the game's core theme. He who controls this sword controls the world. The game boasts a grand epic narrative told through 20 consecutive scenarios. Key gameplay features highlighted are realistic animated battle scenes, simplified controls and deep strategy via the commander rule, a level-up and class change system, RPG elements like magic, and the inclusion of neutral forces and NPCs that influence battles. It's equipped with 4 megabits of room and battery backup memory. The page announces its release on April 26th for 7,300 yen, excluding tax. Character design is credited to Satoshi Urushihara. This page is a dynamic advertisement announcing the impending release of the classic arcade shooter Raiden on the Sega Mega Drive. The artwork features the game's iconic red and blue fighter ships soaring through space, set against a backdrop of stars and a nebulous blue and black expanse. The prominent blue text displays the Japanese title, Raiden Densetsu, with the English transliteration, Raiden Densetsu, below it. The ad proudly states that the game is coming soon to the Mega Drive. Developed by Seibu Kaihatsu, Inc., this port promises to bring the intense, vertical-scrolling shoot-'em-up action, known for its challenging gameplay, powerful weapons, and memorable bosses, from the arcades to home consoles. Barcronet Company Limited is also credited, indicating their role in the Mega Drive port. This page is a clear and impactful teaser for fans eager to experience the arcade hit on their Sega system. This page features 2 game announcements. The upper section promotes Micronet's simulation game, Ambition of Caesar, also known as Caesar's Ambition, for the Mega Drive. The artwork depicts a powerful scene with Julius Caesar on horseback, surrounded by lions and symbols of authority, suggesting an epic historical strategy experience. The text proudly announces that this new simulation game is now on sale, priced at 8,800 yen, supports 1 player, and comes on an 8 megabit cartridge. It promises that a new door for simulation is opening. The lower section highlights Konami's puzzle game Junction for the Game Gear. This section includes screenshots showing the grid-based puzzle gameplay and a small, round, green character. It confirms the game is also now on sale, available for 3,000 yen, supports 1 player, and uses a 1 megabit room. This is a licensed Konami title for Sega's handheld system. This page promotes the upcoming Game Gear title, Suizer, an action puzzle game published by Victor Musical Industries in Japan. The vibrant artwork showcases the game's cast of colorful, whimsical characters, described as originating from France, including a fluffy yellow protagonist, a blue creature, and various unique enemies like a ghost, a green hat-wearing foe, and even a sentient hamburger. The story sets the stage, with an evil race polluting a peaceful land, forcing its inhabitants to flee. A brave youth rises to restore the 99 continents to their former state. The core gameplay revolves around navigating 99 item-filled stages packed with traps, challenging players to clear them within a time limit. The game promises a variety of enemies, multiple weapon types, beneficial bonus items, and hidden secrets across its maps. Suizer was developed by Loriciel and licensed by Infogrames, and its Japanese release is scheduled for April 26th, priced at 3,800 yen. This continues the trend from the previous page, showcasing diverse game genres hitting the Game Gear. This page is the table of contents for the April 1991 issue of Beep! Mega Drive, packed with features on the latest Sega titles. Kicks off with a new title scramble on page 36, announcing upcoming games like the revolutionary Sonic the Hedgehog, alongside Street Smart, Master of Monsters, Bonanza Bros, Alien Storm, Fire Mustang, and more. The B Mega Hot menu feature, spread across pages 44, 61, and 94, provides detailed reviews of recent releases, including Valis 2i, Midnight Resistance, the tactical masterpiece Warsong, Zero Wing, Elysia Dragoon, the anime-based Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, Veritex, Zan, Yasha and Bukyoku, and the strategy epic romance of the Three Kingdoms 2. A major feature on page 89 explores the American Genesis market, from a Japanese perspective, complete with reviews of a software. Page 77 presents a report on the consciousness of MegaDrive users in 1990, including expectations for future technologies like CD-ROM. The page also highlights 3 must-play RPGs, Shining in the Darkness, Star Cruiser, and Arcus Odyssey, and mentions a special 32-page appendix, Beep! MegaDrive Jr. Screenshots offer glimpses of Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2, Valis 2I, and a sci-fi shooter. The contents list numerous regular columns covering data, news, game design, market trends, sound, and more. This page dives into the retail landscape, presenting the top 10 best-selling MegaDrive games. Leading the charge is Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, which successfully defended its #1 spot after the New Year's sales push. The ranking shows a mix of established hits and newer releases, a sign of the MegaDrive library's robust health. Rounding out the top 3 are the classic racing simulation Super Monaco GP and the addictive puzzle game columns. The list continues with titles like the unique wrestling game Cutie Suzuki's Ringside Angel debuting at number 4, the co-op action of Crackdown, and the challenging shooter Darius 2. Fan favorites like Hard Drivin' and Michael Jackson's Moonwalker maintain strong sales positions, while the intense shooter Elemental Master makes an appearance, often compared to the Thunder Force series. Finally, the enduring strategy series is represented by Super Dai Senryaku, proving its lasting appeal. Each entry includes a screenshot offering a peek at the gameplay, from platforming and racing to puzzle solving and strategic battles. This page shifts from retail sales to user aspirations and arcade trends. The top section presents the user data ranking, showing the games MegaDrive owners most want to see ported to their console. Highlights from this wish list include Final Fight and the YS series, covering various genres like fighting and RPGs. Exciting news is that 2 popular requests from last month's list, Bonanza Bros. And Alien Storm, both high-ranking action titles, have been confirmed for porting. Screenshots for these games and Legend of Valkyries are featured alongside the rankings, giving readers a taste of what they're hoping for. Moving to shop data, the page reveals the current top arcade games. Namco's racing hit Final Lap 2 holds the top spot, demonstrating its enduring popularity. Screenshots showcase other arcade leaders like Sega's Laser Ghost, a light gun shooter featuring ghostly enemies, and Jaleco's Cisco Heat, a street racing game set in San Francisco with a distinct police car. This section gives a snapshot of the games currently drawing crowds in Japanese arcades. This page shifts focus to user-voted anticipation for upcoming MegaDrive games, presented as the Anticipated New Games Top 20. It also includes a section tracking the popularity of unreleased titles. The top spot is held by Shining in the Darkness, a highly anticipated RPG, with a screenshot showing a first-person dungeon view. The accompanying text notes its impending release and expects it to sell out quickly. Coming in second is Advanced Military Commander, a strategy game, described as a significant evolution from its predecessor, despite potential delays. A screenshot shows its strategic map view. Third place goes to Bahamut Chronicle, a fantasy simulation game with impressive graphics, featuring a screenshot of its battle scene. Fourth is Romance of the Three Kingdoms, a grand simulation game based on the famous historical novel, highlighted for its scale and intense battles. A screenshot shows a scene with troop selection. Fifth is Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, an adventure game based on the popular anime, praised for its timely adaptation by Namco. Its screenshot depicts character art. Other games featured in the top 20 list include Valis 2I at number 6, Blue Almanac at #10, with a screenshot showing a turn-based RPG battle, and various other titles covering RPG, strategy, and adventure genres. The article notes that simulation and RPGs are particularly popular among MegaDrive users looking forward to new releases. It reflects the excitement surrounding these big-name titles, poised to expand the MegaDrive's user base and its genre offerings. This page shifts focus to the upcoming software schedule for both the MegaDrive and Game Gear consoles. Presented as New Soft Schedule, it lists titles with their publisher, planned release date, price, and genre, giving us a clear look at the immediate future of both platforms. For the MegaDrive, many games we saw on the anticipated New Games Top 20 list from the previous page now appear here, with specific dates and details. You've got the likes of Bahamut Chronicle, Valis 2 Eyes, and Blue Almanac showing up, Alongside new announcements, publishers are clearly gearing up for a busy release period, with a rush of titles expected, particularly as the financial year-end approaches in March. The Game Gear section provides a similar schedule, showing a strong lineup of planned titles ranging from action games like Alien Storm and Golden Axe, to sports titles and even Mappy. The list indicates many titles are still early in development, with release dates and prices often listed as undecided. The brief editorial section confirms the busy state of releases, noting the rapid flow of new information. It highlights Sega's sudden reveal of games like Bonanza Brothers and Alien Storm, which weren't previously featured prominently. It also points out Namco's commitment to the Game Gear, starting with titles like Gear Stadium, and planning many more releases throughout the year, suggesting a significant push for Sega's handheld. The sentiment is clear. Expect a wave of new software hitting shelves this spring. This page serves as a message board straight from the software publishers, giving updates on their latest and upcoming titles. Sega highlights their busy March schedule, including the highly anticipated RPG Shining in the Darkness, and the charming platformer Castle of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse for Game Gear. Data East is excited to bring the intense action of the arcade shooter Midnight Resistance to home consoles, promising a faithful port. Namco connects their latest game to the popular Nadia, the Secret of Blue Water anime series, suggesting an adaptation or related title. Messiah gives a detailed preview of their strategy RPG Warsong, emphasizing its deep system and numerous chapters. Sunsoft shares unfortunate news about the Super Fantasy Zone programmer, but is also set to release Shanghai on both Mega Drive and Game Gear. Toplan discusses Zero Wing, noting its significant 8 MB size due to a detailed opening demo. Treco talks about their shooters, Twin Cobra, and the upgraded Task Force Harrier X. Micronet provides an update on the Raiden port, framed rather unusually with historical figures like Caesar and Cleopatra. Taito is developing a game called Fai Amusungu, and is running a contest for fans to guess its genre. Updates from Asmic on Veritex, Kyugo Boeki on Super Airwolf, Wolf Team on Zanyasha Dance, and Visco on Word Nana no Mori Special round out the board, showcasing a diverse range of genres and publisher activities. This page features a review section titled Recommended Single Purchase Showdown, presenting 2 games for evaluation. The first is Ambition of Caesar from Micronet, a simulation game where you play as Caesar to rescue Cleopatra. The screenshot shows a strategic map view. The second game is Veritex by Asmic, a vertical scrolling shooter featuring an advanced fighter battling unknown enemies, depicted in a screenshot of frantic space action. 4 different reviewers provide their opinions and scores for each game. Comments on Ambition of Caesar include praise for its successful real-time system and realistic strategy, though one reviewer finds the movement and controls difficult. For Veritex, reviewers note the detailed background graphics sometimes obscure enemy characters, mention the frustrating pace of power-ups, and describe it as a standard shooter with some graphical and musical issues. Scores for Ambition of Caesar range from 5 to 8. While Veritex receives scores between 5 and 6, reflecting a mix of positive and critical feedback from the panel. This page continues with more game reviews, following the format from the previous page. Featured here are 4 titles. First up is Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, an adventure game based on the popular anime, with a screenshot showing a dialogue sequence. Reviewers noted it's primarily for fans of the show, with some finding the story slow and movement cumbersome. Scores range from 6 to 9. Next is the action platformer Valis 2i, featuring a screenshot of a heroine in action. Reviewers highlighted its multi-platform release, the ability to play as 3 heroines, and praised the graphics, though some felt it catered to a specific audience. Scores range from 5 to 8. Following is Zan, Yasha en Bukyoku, a historical simulation game with fantasy elements, shown with character art and a battlefield view. Comments mention easy-to-learn rules and good atmosphere, despite being a niche genre. Scores were 6 and 7. Finally, Devil Hunter Yoko, The Seventh Bell, an action game based on the anime, is shown with a screenshot of combat. Reviewers found the jump timing difficult, and the game surprisingly hard, despite the cute character, noting the impressive graphics and music but high difficulty barrier. It received scores of 6 across the board. This page continues the game reviews, showcasing 4 more titles. This page features reviews for 4 distinct games. First is Shining in the Darkness, the predecessor to the popular Shining Force series. This first-person dungeon crawler is praised for its impressive 3D dungeons and detailed RPG mechanics, though some found the pace or specific elements less appealing. It garnered high scores, including a perfect 10 from one reviewer, highlighting its significance as a key RPG for the system. Next up is Mahjong Detective Story, a unique blend of adventure and mahjong. The game is noted for its focus on visuals featuring attractive female characters and integrating mahjong gameplay into solving mysteries. Reviewers found the concept interesting and the visuals appealing, but some felt the gameplay might be too niche or lack depth beyond its core premise. The third game reviewed is Midnight Resistance, a solid port of the arcade run-and-gun action title. This game is recognized for its intense action and the faithful recreation of the arcade experience, particularly its graphics and special sound capabilities. Reviewers appreciated the challenging gameplay and solid port quality. Finally, Super Airwolf makes an appearance. This shooting game, based on the classic TV series, is described as a decent, well-made shooter within the Mega Drive's extensive library. While some found it perhaps not standing out from the crowd or fully capturing the essence of the show, it was considered enjoyable, especially for fans of the original series. 4 new games are reviewed for the Mega Drive and Game Gear. Shikinju is a puzzle game praised for its cute characters and content, especially the modem feature. Wordner no Mori Special, an action game, offers simple, enjoyable gameplay with a play-at-home feel, though some found it dated. Kageki, a fighting game, features comical characters and simple gameplay, appreciated for stress relief, but criticized for repetitive battles. Chase H.Q. On Game Gear, a racing/chase game, is deemed a decent title despite hardware limitations, with strong sound effects and a focus on ramming criminals. This page reviews 3 Game Gear games. Headbuster, a robot simulation game, received mixed scores, 5-7/10, praised for its strategic depth, but criticized for balance issues and a lack of programming depth. Castle of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse, earned high praise, scoring mostly 8/10 for its impressive graphics and engaging gameplay. Devilish, a block-breaking game, had mixed reviews, 5-7/10, with the scrolling speed and pixelated graphics being detractors, despite a unique paddle control mechanic. The page also announces the winner of an illustration contest and includes a reviewer's positive comments on the month's diverse non-action games, recommending Shining in the Darkness and Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water. Finally, there is a farewell message from a departing staff member. This page introduces the BeepMD Reader Race, where readers rate Mega Drive games on a 10-point scale, and the average scores are published like racing odds. The left side displays the full ranking of reader-recommended software from 1st to 38th place, based on these average scores. Featured prominently are several top contenders with screenshots and reader comments. Coming in at number 2 is Thunder Force 2i, lauded for its superb side-scrolling action and impressive graphics and sound. The number 4 spot goes to Super Monaco GP, praised as a top-tier home racing game, although some noted differences from the arcade version. Further down the list, number 5 Star Cruiser is highlighted, impressing readers with its immersive first-person 3D perspective and deep space combat. The challenging shooter Darius 2 ranks at number 10, recognized for its quality despite potential differences from other platform versions. The classic fantasy beat-em-up, Golden Axe, is featured at number 15, with comments appreciating its character designs and fun multiplayer duel mode. Finally, the notoriously difficult but beloved Ghouls and Ghosts, ranking number 17, is highlighted for its intense action and impressive production values, still considered a top-tier action game. Each featured game also shows both the reader average score and the magazine's own average score for comparison. This page continues the reader poll results, highlighting some standout titles and the lower-ranked games. Featured prominently as dark horses are Castle of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse, and Target Earth. Castle of Illusion, ranking surprisingly high based on reader votes, is praised for its solid game balance, with the magazine noting it's exceptionally well made for Sega at the time and a top-tier game on the system. Target Earth is highlighted for its unique feel, considered a must-play for Gundam fans despite its difficulty, with its story adding significant value. In the losing ticket section, Osomatsu-kun Hachamecha Gikiju is featured at rank 84. The commentary notes it was cheap, but surprisingly fun and easy initially, but suffers from major bugs like freezing screens, leading to reader disappointment. Other featured games include the highly ranked Puzzle Classic Columns at rank 6, loved for its addictive gameplay and high replayability, and Shadow Dancer, ranked 30, which is described as a disappointing follow-up to The Revenge of Shinobi, criticizing its repetitive enemies and bosses. The right side of the page lists the reader rankings from 39 down to 85, showing a wide range of games and their average scores. Finally, the editorial summary notes that Mickey Mouse topping the first reader poll was an unexpected result. There's also a section recruiting readers for future polls, even listing example reader scores for games like Darius 2 and The Revenge of Shinobi. This page details upcoming events and services for Sega platforms. The main focus is the 8th Century S.G New Title Announcement event, where anticipated new games for the Mega Drive and Game Gear are being showcased across major cities in Japan. This event involves over 40 exhibitors presenting their latest home console software. A list of expected titles includes major hitters like Sonic the Hedgehog, Shining in the Darkness, Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, and Golden Axe Warrior, among many others. Also featured is the Sega Game Grand Prix, a competition where players can participate and submit high scores. A significant development highlighted is a new system allowing members to upload their high scores directly from home, indicating a move towards networked gameplay features. Finally, the page announces the launch of Pro Baseball Van, a new information service utilizing the Mega Modem peripheral. This service, a joint venture, provides real-time baseball data and results, offering fans immediate access to game progress and player statistics via their Mega Drive console, as shown in the accompanying screenshot. This marks an interesting early step into online services for the console. This page dives into a mix of new releases and events relevant to the gaming and entertainment world of the time. Starting off with some non-gaming tech, Epson is launching new 32-bit book-style personal computers, powerful machines featuring 386SX processors, significant RAM, and expandability, alongside Casio's new touchscreen databank watch. Moving into unique gaming concepts, Epoch is introducing the Barcode Battler, a novel competitive card game that uses barcodes to generate warrior stats for head-to-head battles. This is a really interesting idea, bringing real-world barcodes into the game world. For RPG enthusiasts, new books are highlighted, including an introductory guide to tabletop role-playing games from Microdesign and new volumes in the popular Legend of the Light and Darkness 2i and Speaker's Sanctuary series from Ozora Publishing, known for their unique blend of RPG, manga, and novel elements. On the video front, NCS is set to release their original anime Burn Up across multiple formats including video, CD, and Laserdisc. Finally, Japanese Telenet is hosting an exciting Waku Waku Game Festa event. Gamers can look forward to announcements and hands-on demos of upcoming titles, get insights into the development process, and even meet voice actors. It sounds like a must-attend event for fans of their games. This page steps away from typical gaming content to focus on a cultural topic, White Day, which falls on March 14th in Japan. An illustration of a woman struggling with an umbrella in the wind sets a whimsical tone. The magazine asks readers for their thoughts on White Day, polling people at a Ginza Hakuhinkan store. The results show mixed feelings, with some positive and some negative impressions. A second check asks specifically about the image of White Day for men and women. Men tend to see it as a return gift for Valentine's Day, doesn't matter, or troublesome. Women's perspectives include a man expressing his feelings, a return gift for Valentine's Day, or they haven't thought about it. The page also provides a historical and cultural overview of White Day, explaining its origins in Japan, the key players involved in establishing it, where it originated, Europe, spreading via Christianity, what is typically given, candy, and why, as a return gift for Valentine's Day chocolate. Finally, a horoscope section titled, March 14th, What Kind of Day Will It Be For You?, offers general and romantic luck predictions based on birth month, presented by Dr. D. It gives a brief outlook for each month's luck, but without going into excessive detail for every single one. The bottom of the page mentions a collaboration with Ginza Hakuhinkan store for product inquiries. This page presents a thoughtful guide to gift giving, building on the previous discussion of White Day. It asks, how about these presents? And organizes various gift ideas using a unique chart. This chart plots items based on their suitability for a honmi, a gift for someone you're seriously interested in, versus an okeishi, a return gift, likely for Valentine's Day chocolate, and also considers whether the gift is better suited for a student or a working adult, with age suitability also being a factor. Among the diverse suggestions, are items like a Disney Magic Castle computer game featuring chess and checkers, a See You Again jigsaw puzzle described as perfect for a serious romantic partner, and elegant rose gallery chocolates shaped like a bouquet. The popular Moomin characters make an appearance with plushies for both Moomin himself and the distinctive Hattie Fatteners, noted as popular with adults. More whimsical options include sweet gift candy with a music box playing When You Wish Upon a Star, a jar of candy and small toys in a catalog party bottle, and even a ninjutsu giri candy packaged humorously for obligation gifts. The range of items, from games and puzzles to plushies and various candies, shows a clear effort to offer suggestions catering to different types of relationships and age groups, making it a practical guide for navigating Japanese gift-giving customs like White Day returns. This page kicks off a new release scramble section, giving a quick rundown on upcoming software for the Mega Drive, mentioning titles like Street Smart, Bonanza Bros, Alien Storm, and more. The main focus, however, is the highly anticipated Sonic the Hedgehog, heralded as the birth of Sega's new hero. The article conveys immense excitement for Sonic's gameplay, highlighting its unprecedented sense of speed and pinball-like feel that allows for incredible freedom of movement, massive jumps, and charging through stages. A notable feature is the special stage, which utilizes the Mega Drive's rotation capabilities, adding a unique visual element as the player navigates rotating walls. The music, composed by Masato Nakamura from Dreams Come True, is also praised. The screenshots shown are from the Genesis version, but anticipation is high for the Mega Drive release, especially given the game's huge popularity at Blesses. This page continues the new release scramble coverage. First up is Street Smart, known internationally as Wrestle War. This is a port of a video game where players step into the ring as either karate master Tsutomu Amaji or pro wrestler John Schneider to conquer the Wrestle War tournament. A key feature is the character growth system, allowing players to use bonus points and fight money earned from victories to improve their stats like life, power, and defense, influencing the game's ending. The article highlights the challenging lineup of opponents, including Bobby Brown and Sam Santana, and expresses excitement for this super spicy action title on the Mega Drive. Next, we have Fastest One, released internationally as Grand Prix. This is Human's debut title on the Mega Drive, ported from the PC Engine's From 1 Triple Battle. It offers a realistic From 1 racing experience with a standout feature: simultaneous two-player split-screen gameplay. Players have extensive control over customizing their From 1 machines. The inclusion of battery backup to save time records is noted as a welcome addition, making it a well-rounded package despite the PC Engine version having supported 3 players. The reviewer finds the split-screen gameplay particularly immersive. This page continues the new release scramble with Jantante Monogatari, a distinctive fusion of mahjong and detective gameplay. As a mahjong-savvy private eye, you're plunged into a case to locate the missing daughter of a school principal. The primary lead comes from a photo of 4 high schoolers engaged in a mahjong game, leading your investigation to the all-girls Seihakugawa Gakuen. You'll need to interview students across both the high school and college divisions to uncover the truth. The publication highlights the game's focus on its attractive female cast, featuring detailed character art and visual sequences. Profiles for several key characters are presented, including girls from the high school like Yayoi Sakaki and Mariko Amagi, and college students such as Shelby Norton and Suzune Honguchi, each indicating their mahjong point totals. The article notes the intriguing combination of genres and the emphasis on beautiful characters as standout aspects. This page delves further into Jantante Monogatari, revealing that progress in the investigation is blocked unless you win at mahjong. A key feature highlighted is the Tsumikomi skill, where earning experience points and leveling up allows players to use techniques to influence the tiles they draw, with more powerful abilities requiring more usable points. The mahjong battles are one-on-one half games, where the goal is to reduce the opponent's points, though losing the half game results in defeat regardless of the score difference. Several locations and characters encountered during the investigation are introduced. A coffee shop where you play against Miyu Hazawa, points 30000, a motorcycle shop where you borrow a bike and face Kaede Kuwanji, points 35,000, and the path to the principal's residence, blocked by Satsuki Kusakabe, points 42000. Winning against these characters in mahjong is necessary to move forward. The game also features a password system given after each mahjong game, regardless of the outcome, which is used to save progress in a detective journal. Finally, the investigation reaches the principal's residence, where the story takes an unexpected turn. The page effectively showcases the blend of mahjong mechanics and detective story progression. This page features two distinct games hitting the Mega Drive. First up is Master of Monsters from Toshiba Emi, a fantasy simulation game based on the popular Daisenryaku series engine by Systemsoft. What sets this apart is the focus on monster units that gain experience and evolve, leading to powerful transformations. Battles take terrain and unit parameters into account, even factoring in the time of day. The Mega Drive version boasts anime-style battle scenes and impressive graphics, with music supervision by the legendary Koichi Sugiyama. It looks like a solid strategy title for fans of tactical combat with a unique fantasy twist. Below that is Dino Land by Wolf Team, bringing a unique pinball experience to the console. Set in the primitive era, it's described as Mega Drive's first pinball game. While featuring simple pinball rules, it adds elements not found in traditional machines. The protagonist, Dinokun, can switch between a ball form for pinball action and a dinosaur form on bonus stages, allowing him to walk around freely. The game highlights his surprising strength and the quest to rescue his captured girlfriend, promising a blend of pinball action and adventure elements. The music is handled by Ichiro Hata from the band Mother. It seems like a fun, quirky take on the pinball genre. This page covers two upcoming Sega Mega Drive action titles. First up is Bonanza Brothers, an action game previously released elsewhere, now ported to the Mega Drive. The port stays faithful to the original in content, though unfortunately 2 stages and a bonus stage have been removed. Despite this, the graphics maintain the original atmosphere, and humorous touches like swatting flies or slipping on cans are reproduced. The reviewer seems to appreciate the overall feel and confirms the inclusion of voice audio. The game involves 2 righteous thieves breaking into places like corrupt banks to steal evidence, facing various traps along the way, emphasizing cooperative play. Below that is Alien Storm, also an action game announced around the same time and ported to the Mega Drive. While graphically distinct, the gameplay and characters draw heavily from the style of Golden Axe. It's not a direct copy, but the game elements are categorized into 3 types. Action stages similar to Golden Axe, 3D shooting stages reminiscent of Dynamite Duke or Operation Wolf, and high-speed horizontal scrolling shooting stages. Players can choose from Gordon, Carla, or the robot scooter, each with unique special attacks described as even flashier than Magic and Golden Axe. The game supports 2-player co-op, and missions mix these different gameplay styles as you battle invading aliens. The reviewer highlights the variety in gameplay and the flashy special attacks. This page presents details on 2 diverse upcoming Sega Mega Drive titles. First up is Rent a Hero, described as an RPG, with a tentative June release. This game puts you in the shoes of a regular young man who acquires a powerful rental suit from a company named Sega, using it to tackle various troubles people face and earning money to upgrade his armor. It features a modern setting, potentially inspired by real-world locations in the Tokyo area, offering a unique take on the RPG genre. The screenshots show everyday locations like interiors and parks, highlighting the game's contemporary urban setting and combat system. Following that is Ninja no Burai Densetsu, listed as an SLG with RPG characteristics, also aiming for a June release. Set in feudal Japan during the Azuchi-Moyama period, the game follows a group of ninjas on a mission against the influence of Nobunaga Oda. While structured somewhat like an RPG, the combat is conducted on a hex-based grid with animated battle scenes. It includes RPG elements for character development, supports multiple players, and features dynamic elements like changing seasons and weather. Screenshots provide glimpses of character status, tactical maps, battles, and locations like inns. This page showcases the upcoming Taito title, Firearm Mustang, a realistic horizontal scrolling shoot-'em-up, slated for a May release, with the price yet to be determined. It's noted as being based on the USA Top Mustang video game. The game puts players in the cockpit of the legendary C-51 Mustang, an iconic American fighter from World War II. Unlike typical sci-fi shooters, this game focuses on intense aerial dogfights and ground attacks with historical flair. Controls are simple: 8-way movement with 2 buttons handling main shots, bombs, and special missiles that grant temporary invincibility. Strategic use of power-ups and skillful maneuvers are essential to survive the challenging battles. The magazine provides a look at the first 3 stages. Stage 1 serves as an introduction with fewer enemies, encouraging players to power up. Stage 2 introduces large bosses that require specific tactics, often involving staying close to the left edge of the screen. Stage 3 expands the action to sea battles, adding threats from below as well as the air. Screenshots reveal diverse enemies, including enemy formations that fill the screen, and large bombers, one even featuring the Japanese Hinomaru marking, adding a touch of realism to the historical setting. The realistic clouds in the background are also highlighted. The overall presentation suggests a fast-paced, action-packed shooter with a distinct, engaging theme. This page dives into Valis 2i, the popular action game making its way to the Sega Mega Drive. Releasing on March 22nd, this installment promises to unleash the true power of the Valis sword. The core gameplay revolves around mastering the 3 heroines, Yuko Asou, Valna, and Cham. Each character has unique strengths and weaknesses, making strategic switching between them crucial for success on different stages. The page shows screenshots of the 3, briefly highlighting Yuko's sword waves, Valgina's attack range and speed, and Cham's power despite a limited range. Collecting items is key to powering up. Destroying item boxes reveals useful effects like increased attack power and range, which are vital, especially for Yuko. Other items provide boosts to energy speed, magic points, and health recovery. Magic is another potent tool, with 9 distinct spells available, stemming from 3 core elements: thunder, fire, and blizzard. Each character possesses a unique spell for each element, totaling 9 powerful abilities like Yuko's Thunder Sword or Valmana's Death Cube. Magic requires magic points to cast, typically consuming 3 to 4 points per use. While there are 9 potential spells, you can only carry 1 magic item at a time, limiting you to 1 elemental system spells until you find another item. This page focuses on Stage 2 of Valis 2i, highlighting its progression through 4 distinct short areas: the forest, the lake, the tower, and the boss fight. Stage 2 begins in the forest, populated by various enemies, including large worms and persistent semi-transparent foes appearing from above. Yuko is recommended here for her wide attack range, though caution is advised for enemies attacking from below. Next is the lake, where you board a boat, restricting character switching. The text suggests using Cham for the upcoming mid-boss, a dragon that spits ring projectiles which can be destroyed with your weapon. After the lake, you reach the tower, filled with durable enemies. Cham's high attack power is useful here. At the top, you find Valmena, who then joins your party. The stage culminates in a boss fight against Gorillan Hapa. Only Valfina is playable during this battle. Gorillan Hapa moves rapidly, appearing to split, and the strategy is to jump and attack him up close to defeat him. This page dives into Stage 3 of Valis 2i's, detailing the path forward after the events of Stage 2. The stage begins with a critical task. Yuko knows she must unlock the true power of the Valis sword to defeat Glamis, and the key lies with Nzetti and Sutherland. To reach Nzetti, all 3 party members, Yuko, Cham, and Valna, must work together to ring the bells of justice, truth, and courage, an action that opens the way forward. Following the bell puzzle, the team arrives at Nirvana Road, a lengthy, uphill path they must ascend to find Nzetti. While the initial enemies here aren't particularly tough, requiring only careful progression, the road presents challenges. The guide recommends using Yuko, leveraging high jumps to advance, while clearing out foes and collecting abundant items to improve gear. Cham's narrow attack range and Valmana's lower attack power are noted as potential drawbacks on this section, suggesting they may get hit more often. As they climb, they encounter strange illusions of past characters, Varia and Raiko from Valis 2, reacting to their appearance before facing new, falling coin-like enemies, requiring cautious movement to avoid damage. This page continues the guide for Valis 2i, focusing on the events after ascending Nirvana Road. Upon reaching the top, Nzetti challenges you to show your courage by facing waves of knights appearing from both sides. The strategy outlined involves defeating 3 knights from the left, quickly sliding right to defeat 1 knight from the right, and then immediately returning left to repeat the process. Screenshots illustrate this battle sequence, showing Yuko engaging the enemies. Following this trial, the guide details a crucial story event. After defeating enough knights, Narrated appears and reveals that unlocking the Valis sword's true power will require Yuko and the sword to return to the divine realm. Yuko accepts this fate, agreeing to release the sword's power if it means defeating Grommas. With Yuko's resolve, the Valis sword shines, transforming Yuko's armor and unleashing its ultimate strength. Character portraits and an in-game cutscene image depict this transformation and the dialogue between Yuko and Narrated. Finally, the page briefly shows Gromma's reaction to the Valis sword's newly unleashed power. He senses the change and remarks that it seems to call for Lezes' sword. He then dispatches a new assassin, a large, imposing figure, vowing to claim the Valis sword for himself. A humorous caption accompanies the introduction of the new assassin, noting his striking appearance. This page continues the guide for Valis 2, diving into the challenges of Stage 4, aptly titled, Break Through the Giant Labyrinth. As the magazine notes, this is where the game's difficulty really ramps up, so careful play is essential. The stage itself is depicted as a sprawling, factory-like complex with multiple routes leading to the boss. You'll face off against a variety of tough enemies here. Some are highly durable, while others, like a stationary enemy that fires lasers downwards, are invulnerable and must be avoided. The lasers deal heavy damage, so dodging them is critical. There's also a large, snake-like foe whose weak point is its head. The stage culminates in a showdown with Grommas' assassin, Zakhliud. As mentioned in the previous page, this guy is a formidable opponent. He attacks first by shooting projectiles from the ground, then launches a giant bullet, and also relies on body slams, making counterattacking difficult. The guide recommends getting close and using rapid attacks, noting that using Cham is particularly effective here. Trying to fight him with other characters seems to be quite challenging. Looking ahead, the guide briefly touches on what comes next. After defeating Zakhliud, Yuko and friends venture into the Isserant, known as Iceland in the international versions. Described as the coldest place, the ground is made of ice, making movement very slippery and hard to stop. This significantly complicates fighting enemies and navigating jumps between platforms. Naoto Kadokura's Game Designer's Domain explores the importance of viewpoint in game design. The article examines how camera perspective fundamentally shapes player perception, contrasting traditional RPGs' overhead views with first-person perspectives. Kadokura and his programmer friend brainstorm novel viewpoints, specifically considering a looking up from diagonally below angle. He argues this perspective, similar to how a child or animal might perceive the world, can emphasize a feeling of vulnerability and scale. He uses examples like Watership Down to illustrate how such a viewpoint could create unique gameplay experiences. Finding the right perspective, like appreciating art from different angles, is crucial for realizing the game's artistic vision. Kadokura concludes that experimenting with unconventional viewpoints could unlock innovative game genres and experiences. This page is the fourth installment of a series titled New TV Game Market Frontline, featuring an interview with Sega about expanding the market with third parties. This segment continues the discussion with Naoki Aoki, head of planning and production, and Tomio Takami, development manager, from Sega Enterprises, alongside game critic Yoshiki Yasuda, known as Jam Ojisan. The interview focuses heavily on the success of the Genesis overseas, particularly in the United States. Aoki notes the Mega Drive market has become quite established and confirms strong third-party support, having witnessed it firsthand at Sacy's. Takami mentions shipping around 1.5 million units by the end of the previous year. They discuss the positive impact of games like Michael Jackson's Moonwalker and Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, which significantly contributed to expanding the market, despite Sega previously being perceived as weak in character-based games. The conversation moves to Sega's worldwide character strategy. Takami highlights the strong relationship built with Disney through the success of Castle of Illusion, stating Sega aims for a wide character development approach similar to Disney's. Aoki adds that Sonic the Hedgehog was a major hit at CES, boosting morale across the company and signaling a clear direction for their character-driven future. The page includes portraits of the interviewees and a smaller photo showing the three of them discussing SS. This page continues the interview with Sega's Tomio Takami and Naoki Aoki, along with critic Yoshiki Yasuda. They discuss game development, explaining that delays are to ensure higher quality and more substantial software. Takami emphasizes the need for a paradigm shift in how Sega approaches game creation, changing the very standards they work by. The conversation shifts to third parties, with Aoki noting that Sega currently has 42 partner companies, expected to grow to around 50. Both agree it's crucial to create an environment where third parties feel secure developing for the Sega Genesis. They are cooperating to ensure a wide variety of content-rich software is released, aiming to expand the Mega Drive market and compete strongly with visual quality against other media. The page highlights two key upcoming titles Sega is focusing on: Shining in the Darkness and Sonic the Hedgehog, showing screenshots from both games. Concluding the interview, Jam Ojisan delivers a message to Sega, acknowledging their strong determination. He notes the initial anxiety among third parties after the Super Nintendo launch, but highlights Sega's current strength lies firmly in its software lineup. He urges Sega to build a user-centric market and maintain a secure development environment for third parties, stating that this year Sega is strong because they are competing with software, not just hardware. This page is the BeepMD letters section, where readers share their opinions on the latest games. Several letters focus on a Technosoft game, likely a shooter. Opinions are mixed. Some find the gameplay disappointing with issues like slow text, weak bosses, and repetitive stages, though many praise the music, especially the ending themes. One letter seems to highlight Phantasy Star IV, specifically praising the scene featuring Salome, noting the excellent visual and musical synergy, calling it a masterpiece that Genesis owners should experience. The main feature is this month's discussion, centered on Elemental Master, a challenging top-down fantasy shooter by Technosoft. The artwork for the game is displayed, along with its developer and release details. The section introduces Elemental Master as the month's debate topic, encouraging readers to send in their thoughts. Looking ahead, the theme for the next month's discussion is the legendary developer, Namco. This page features the Speak Freely About Games section, showcasing reader opinions. Letters discuss games like Star Cruiser from Messiah, noted as a groundbreaking title, and Gainug, where a reader achieved a clear but highlighted frustrating difficulty. Hard Drive-In is also mentioned, described as a simple but enjoyable game with a notably humorous manual. The lower half of the page presents reader-submitted illustrations. These vibrant drawings feature fan art based on games such as Sorcerian, Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, Mazin Saga, and characters from Shining in the Darkness. There's also a humorous piece challenging a competing console, and an illustration celebrating a surge in new simulation game releases. It's a fun collection showing the community's engagement with these diverse titles. The next page continues the reader feedback section, Things I Want to Say to the Industry. Readers share their opinions on various games and industry practices. One reader expresses excitement about Micronix potentially porting a game resembling Raiden, contrasting it with the high quality of Lightning Force and Darkseid. Another reader suggests Sega should remake classic Master System and older titles for the Genesis. Taito is encouraged to bring titles like Chase, HQ, SCII, and even Life Theater to the Genesis, and perhaps Bubble Bobble to the Game Gear, highlighting the desire for diverse genres including simulation and board games. The Pint Talk section includes a reader asking about becoming a magazine editor and where to find older games like Star Cruiser and Super Thunderblade. The page also features a reader-submitted 4-panel manga cartoon. There's a brief note about the manga being part of a recruitment effort for submissions. Overall, the page showcases strong reader engagement, offering diverse feedback on current releases, desired ports, and the industry itself. This page announces the winners for the February issue's reader giveaway, featuring prizes like Gaining Ground, Super Volleyball, Vulfide, Synod, Aeroblasters, SDI, Fantasy Zone 2, The Circuit, along with various CD soundtracks, calendars, stickers, and signed items. The page also includes an apology for errors in the March issue, specifically noting a data issue likely affecting Altered Beast and mix-ups in staff names. The reader submission corner, People Land, is detailed, outlining sections for Pint Talk, for discussing specific themes, illustrations, encouraging art submissions, Say Whatever You Want About Games, for general game feedback, and Things I Want to Say to the Industry, for direct messages to developers and publishers. The submission address and required details like name, age, and desired prize software are provided. This page introduces a new humor and entertainment section called the Takanawa Kenzen Club, presented as the first installment. It kicks off with a corner called the Suspicious Exploration Team, which promises to feature strange but harmless places around town. As a sample, it highlights a surprising fishing pond located right in the middle of the busy Sangenjaya district in Tokyo, noting the contrast between the area's youthful popularity and the pond being frequented by older men, suggesting it offers a sense of nostalgia amidst development. Another section, Bob and Sam's Cheers this month, provides a brief, seemingly nonsensical or humorous dialogue between two characters. The page also features the Akamatsu advertisement corner, which invites readers to create parody advertisements. It explains the origin of the name Tomato Effect from a bank's name change and encourages making funny or awkward fake ads. Two samples are shown with suggestive titles like If He Changed Into High Heels and Don't Let Me Take Off My High Heels, accompanied by humorous credits. The author even admits to not fully understanding the corner's purpose, but encourages viewing the samples, despite them potentially being cringeworthy. This page continues the humor and entertainment section introduced previously. It features a popular literature corner inviting readers to submit short stories, exemplified by a humorous narrative about a character named Uniakichi. Another section presents a story of a bubbly office lady, offering a light-hearted look at office life. The Game Culture Fashion Institute encourages readers to design or create costumes based on game characters like monsters, emphasizing fun and unique ideas rather than overly serious cosplay. There's also a comical illustration titled Cuss and D's Intention for Mad Ape, possibly a humorous nod to characters found in games like Altered Beast or Rampage. A cartoon strip follows, featuring a plant-like character named Pichan and birds. Finally, the page lists application guidelines for submitting content to the various corners, including those mentioned here and the Suspicious Exploration Team and Akamatsu advertisement sections from the previous page, detailing submission requirements and potential prizes. This page features the Sound Club section, Volume 17, focusing on the question Is What's Selling Good? By examining the 1,990 Candela's sales rankings. It delves into the Japanese tendency to rely heavily on rankings. Japanese are a ranking tribe, noting how numerical data influences perception and belief, citing college entrance exams and popular trends as examples. The article looks back at the past year's music scene. One observed trend is the lingering effect of the band Boom, easily recognizable in the rankings. It mentions artists like Lindbergh, Princess, ranked 6th, and Jitterin Jin, ranked 19th, who emerged from or were part of this era. Many rock bands, including those from the Ikaten band audition TV show, scene, dominated the top 100. This trend is expected to continue. Another trend highlighted is a fondness for songs about love, tears, and trendy themes, often appealing to women. The page includes a table listing the top 50 Candela's singles by sales in 1990, showing ranking, sales figures, title, and artist. Examples from the list include Love Wars by Matsutoya Yumi, ranked 1, and Tokyo by Watanabe Misato, ranked 3. The list continues down to rank 64. A small note at the bottom mentions a Pink Lady remix, describing it as a hit song remixed for the dance and house music scene, preserving the original vocals. The editor is noted as being disappointed that it doesn't sound Pink Lady-like. This page delves into Japanese music, specifically game music reviews. It analyzes several albums, beginning with Itadaki Street, Famicom/NES, praising its innovative arrangements incorporating sampling, hip-hop, and jazz elements. Next, it highlights Konami Famicom Music Memorial Volume 3, celebrating Konami's technical prowess in composing for the Famicom/NES, featuring tracks from games like Kid Dracula and A Senshi Nicole. The review also covers the Dungeon Master soundtrack, focusing on its arranged tracks designed to complement the BGM-less Famicom version. Finally, it examines the 2-disc Super Mario World album, Super Famicom/SNES, expressing reservations about its target audience. The page concludes with a hope that listeners will develop a deeper appreciation for music beyond superficial trends. This page features the 11th installment of the Looking from Behind the TV Monitor, Game Writer's Aimless Diary column by Oryx, focusing on how overseas games are amazing, though. The author notes they are feeling a bit under the weather but are excited about the topic. The core discussion revolves around the growing trend of porting overseas game titles to home consoles like the Mega Drive and Super Famicom. Oryx observes that the upcoming release lists are full of these conversions, many of which were previously limited to arcade cabinets or PC platforms. This influx of titles such as Populous, Hard Driven, SimCity, Draken, and Dungeon Master is generating considerable excitement among Japanese game enthusiasts. The author feels that these overseas games often bring fresh and innovative ideas that stand out from some of the more similar-looking Japanese titles available at the time. They briefly mention playing games like Turbo Outrun at home and the arcade classic Metrocross. The column concludes with anticipation for the upcoming release of the CDTV, an Amiga-based key drum machine, and expresses hope to afford one. The page includes abstract, doodle-like illustrations. This page dives into the Mega Hot Menu Part 2, showcasing a selection of upcoming Mega Drive titles. The featured game is Data East's intense arcade port, Midnight Resistance. Touted as a challenging, hard action game, the review section highlights its faithful conversion to the Mega Drive and addictive run-and-gun gameplay, praising the variety offered by different power-ups and backpack items. The page includes a large screenshot of a boss battle and character artwork. The story section provides background lore, detailing the rise of the villain King Crimson and the protagonist's mission to save his family. The menu bar also teases upcoming features on Langrisser, Zero Wing, and Elysia Dragoon. This page underscores the excitement surrounding high-quality arcade ports making their way to the Mega Drive. This page continues the coverage of Data East's challenging action game, Midnight Resistance, detailing the first 6 stages. It offers brief glimpses into the environments, from a highway battle and jungle to a metal base, and touches upon some enemy types or events in a lighthearted way. More significantly, the page delves into the game's unique control options, explaining how players can customize their shooting method via the options screen. It breaks down the A, B1, B2, and B3 control schemes, highlighting the differences between standard directional shooting and the various rotational methods activated by the B button. The reviewer notes that depending on the situation, being unable to shoot backwards can be problematic, and suggests players experiment to find what works best, leaning towards the B1 or B2 rotation options as potentially easier than the A type. This level of control customization was quite innovative for its time, offering players flexibility in tackling the game's intense run-and-gun gameplay. This page continues the guide for Midnight Resistance, focusing on Stage 7, the Harbor. It immediately stresses the importance of a preemptive strike to survive, highlighting that waiting to be attacked is a guaranteed loss. The core challenge of this stage is facing the massive battleship. The guide provides a 3-step strategy to defeat the giant battleship. Step 1 advises attacking the large turrets on the deck once they appear from the rear, as they don't attack immediately. Step 2 reveals the ship's weak point is a small turret in the middle, which must be destroyed quickly. Step 3 mentions that destroying the small turret makes the ship advance, revealing the large cannons at the rear, which the guide cheekily suggests ignoring as the ship will sink anyway. Defeating the battleship opens the path to the weapons warehouse, containing items like the supercharger, 500 rounds of ammo, barrier, 1-up, and nitro. The page also details the game's power-up weapons, stating there are 4 types, and recommends using the most powerful ones for the tough battles. It covers full auto, increased fire speed, 3-way, shoots in 3 directions though the shots are slow, fire, a powerful stream-like attack, highly recommended by the reviewer, especially with the supercharger, and shotgun, a powerful spread shot with a wide range, quadrupled with the supercharger. The screenshots show gameplay from the stage, illustrating the battleship battle and different weapon effects. The reviewer clearly favors the fire weapon for its power and range. This page tackles Stage 8, the final area known as the Sea of Fire. It describes the intense climb up a series of ladders set against a fiery backdrop, where red and blue enemies constantly move up and down, even crossing paths. Surviving requires quick reflexes and decisive action. After navigating the treacherous climb, you reach a stone room with a distinct window at the top. This is where the final boss, the formidable Mecha Serpent, makes its appearance. The guide emphasizes this boss is tough and provides a strategy. Ideally, use the Nitro backpack item for a swift victory. If Nitro isn't available, the powerful fire weapon is recommended, focusing your attack on its head. The page also details the crucial backpack items that aid your mission, highlighting that rescuing hostages found in the weapons warehouse with keys turns them into these vital power-ups. These items are essential for success. Shown and described are the Nitro, a powerful explosion, Shower, a less effective weapon, Homing Missile which tracks targets, the Supercharger, boosting weapon power, Barrier, which acts more like an attack, and the classic one, Up for an extra life. Mastering the use of these items is key to overcoming the final challenge. This page covers the thrilling conclusion of Midnight Resistance on the Sega Mega Drive, focusing on the final stage, Stage 9, aptly named Nightmare. This is the last battle fought in the depths of space, characterized by unsettling visuals leading up to the final confrontation. The initial challenge involves navigating through stacked, square faces before reaching the boss. The section provides a strategic guide to defeating the final boss, King Crimson, depicting its various forms. The first phase shows the boss, with Earth in the background, followed by a grotesque form revealing muscle tissue. The final phase is particularly gruesome, featuring a floating brain, described by the reviewer as gross. The guide offers tactics for engaging these different phases of the boss, adding valuable insight. The page also features a comparison between the Mega Drive version and the arcade original. The reviewer praises the Mega Drive port, stating it is a successful adaptation that closely mirrors the arcade experience, which is noted as a rare achievement for many arcade ports. Specific examples like the intensity of the highway stage battle and the details of the lift section are highlighted as being faithfully recreated, confirming the Mega Drive version's strong graphics and overall quality. The weapons Fire and Nitro are again recommended for this final push. This page dives into the world of Warsong, known as Langrisser in Japan, the strategic RPG from NCS. Released on April 26th for 7,300 yen, this title is highlighted as a definitive strategy simulation game, featuring a wealth of conversations and events that keep players engaged. The reviewer praises the game's exquisite sense of balance, noting how it successfully integrates various elements without feeling cluttered. A screenshot shows a dialogue scene, emphasizing the importance of character interaction and story progression. The game features 20 stages, each following a main story arc where the protagonist, Ledin, battles the evil Emperor Daigos for the legendary sword Langrisser. Guest characters and allies join the fight throughout different scenarios, adding depth to the narrative and gameplay. Strategic command is crucial, facilitated by a map screen with both zoom-in and zoom-out modes. Zooming out provides a broad overview of enemy deployment, while zooming in allows players to check individual unit statuses before issuing commands. Instructions can be given in either mode. Battles are visually dynamic, featuring animations that clearly depict the action. The screen displays detailed information for units, including commander level, remaining troops, represented by a number and HP bar, attack at, defense, DT, and corrections applied by terrain effects. Enemy unit data is also shown, providing tactical transparency. Commanders can issue group orders for movement, attack, or defense, with the option for manual, individual unit commands. The battle system successfully blends visual appeal with detailed strategic information. This page introduces the main characters from the strategic RPG Warsong, known as Langrisser in Japan. As the previous page explained, the gameplay centered around commanders. This page showcases the brave heroes who stand against the Dalsis Empire under the player's direction. The primary heroes featured include Ledin, the young prince of Baltia and the game's protagonist, Volkov, a seasoned swordmaster who aids Ledin, Narm, a fighter who joins the party later, and Jessica, a powerful warlock knowledgeable about the secret treasure. Other allies presented are Chris, a cleric who was on a pilgrimage, Taylor, a croc knight trapped after a naval defeat, Scott, a fighter serving Count Ildzak, and Albert, a border guard commander. The page also hints at many other charming characters appearing throughout the game, including the formidable rival Lance, who leads troops against Ledin, and the mysterious, magic user Bowser. Finally, the main antagonist, Emperor Daigos of the Dalsis Empire, is shown, revealing his plot to achieve world domination using the legendary Langrisser. This page features the Game Gear version of Taito's popular arcade title, Chase H.Q. The striking artwork depicts the two police officers, Tony Gibson and Raymond, Brody, armed and ready for action alongside their pursuit vehicle. The large blue title confirms it's Taito Chase HQ. The page highlights the game's premise with phrases like, "Awesome guys have arrived," and the core objective, "Fugitive vehicle found," "Emergency scramble," "Arrest the heinous criminal." Screenshots illustrate the gameplay, showing the chase sequences where players must rush to the scene and attack the criminal's car and deal damage to apprehend the suspects. The bottom section confirms the game is now on sale with favorable reviews at a price of 3,800 yen. It's a clear promotion for this intense police chase game on the portable system. This page previews an exciting upcoming title from Taito for the Mega Drive, with the prominent headline, "Let's go! Taito's latest version, one step ahead." The central focus is on a game tentatively titled Mustang, which is widely known internationally as the classic vertical scrolling shooter MU.SHA. The text describes a brave combat story of Allied pilots, hailed as heroes of the sky. Several screenshots illustrate the gameplay, showing aerial combat against various enemy targets, including intercepting advancing forces, shooting down large transport planes to prevent landings, and destroying incoming bomber formations. The page also announces that the game is scheduled for release in May. This looks like an intense and action-packed aerial battle experience. This page introduces the upcoming Sega Mega Drive port of Toaplan's popular arcade horizontal shooter, Zero Wing, slated for release on April 26th. The article highlights the game's transition from arcade hit to home console, noting that the port is complete and retains the challenging difficulty of the original. The story sets the stage in the year 2101, where the Galactic Federation government's project to build 8 defense bases is betrayed by the space pirates known as Cats, who take over the bases with plans for galactic domination. The Federation dispatches their ace pilot from a carrier to neutralize the threat and destroy the occupied strongholds. Gameplay details cover the ship's arsenal, starting with a basic shot that powers up through collected units. It features 3 main weapon types: the Vulcan, laser, and homing missile, all of which can be upgraded. A key mechanic is the unique prisoner beam, also known as the capture beam, which can grab enemies and hold them in front of the ship, acting as a shield, or allowing the player to launch the captured enemies back at others. The screenshots demonstrate the frantic action, various enemy types, and how the powered-up shots and capture beam function in combat. The game is described as a challenging and classic example of the horizontal shooting genre. This guide details the gameplay mechanics of the Zero Wing Mega Drive port. Players control their ship with the directional pad, noting that excessive speed boosts can impair handling. Rapid fire is standard, beneficial with the homing missile. The prisoner beam captures enemies, acting as a temporary shield but pulling the ship down with larger targets. Power-up units, dropped by transporter ships, upgrade weapons up to 3 levels. Excess pickups yield points or a 1-up. 3 main weapons are described: the Vulcan, effective in a narrow field; the laser, a piercing beam; and the homing missile, which tracks enemies and becomes extremely powerful when upgraded. Additional items include speed boosts, the super bomber, activated by prisoner beam button, weapon units for shot upgrades, and the rare 10-up. This page dives into the first stage of Zero Wing, the satellite base Natlas, noting its slightly reduced difficulty compared to the arcade, but still posing a challenge. The guide recommends grabbing the Vulcan shot and option first, using the prisoner beam to capture aerial enemies for shields. The standout weapon for this stage is definitely the homing missile, which, when powered up, tears through enemies with its rapid fire and makes the boss much easier. You'll encounter various enemies, including static-based defenses, launching rockets, and command room targets, most of which aren't too tough on the ground. The mid-boss, Lighty, is a caged dinosaur head that fires bullets in all directions and homing shots. Dodging its homing attacks while moving slightly up and down is key, and the super bomber is highly effective against its decent health pool. The main boss, Hades, is an ancient, immortal dinosaur machine firing many ring shots. While you can try to dodge them head-on, a notable strategy is moving to the top right corner of the screen, which is a safe spot where you won't get hit. If you stay there, after some time, Hades will simply leave the screen, granting you stage clear without needing to defeat it directly, though you can certainly take it down with homing missiles if you prefer. This page explores stages 2 and 3 of Zero Wing. Stage 2, on the mechanical planet Legros, features laser-wielding enemies and the mid-boss Gaia, a large mechanical head fought twice. Stage 3, located in the Pleiades star cluster, presents narrow passages and requires careful speed management to avoid crashes. Players must also preserve elevators and be cautious of the Gunsir 603 boss, particularly its fireballs. The page also features the Toaplan message corner, thanking fans for their response to a prize giveaway and acknowledging feedback on the game's difficulty. They address player opinions on the game's difficulty and feedback regarding potential future games, promising to consider suggestions for different genres like RPGs and action titles, and expressing gratitude for the volume of fan survey responses received. This page features an in-depth look at Elysia Dragoon, described as an SHT, action/shooting game developed using unique tools, known for its outstanding game balance. The article includes an interview with the monster/background designer, Mr. Sato, and Mr. Kanda from Gainax, who worked on game design and settings, alongside Mr. Kamizaka from Game Arts. The page showcases a dynamic illustration featuring Elysia and various creatures in battle, along with a screenshot of a monster select screen, indicating a game mechanic related to managing or selecting companion creatures. In the interview, Mr. Kanda explains their role involved game design and setting, starting from discussions about adapting a previous PC title, Firehawk, into a Mega Drive game, and thinking about what users would enjoy. They analyzed what game and anime fans desired, leading to the fantasy setting being incorporated later. They discuss integrating RPG-like growth options, pointing to elements like the ability to strengthen the player's accompanying monsters. A key departure from traditional shooting games was the desire to eliminate the frustration of instant death and the need to reset progress. Mr. Kamizaka mentions handling the basic story structure and contributing unique ideas like transforming a standard airship scene into one featuring a giant floating creature. They also emphasize that success lies in cleverly arranging and adapting good elements from previous games, actively removing any elements that could make it feel like a crappy game. They touch upon the unique stage designs, including environments like ice and lava. This page continues the deep dive into Elysia Dragoon, featuring further interviews with the development team. Pictured here are Yoshimi Kanda from Gainax, the game design lead known for previous PC and anime projects, and Hajime Sato, the illustrator responsible for the game's monsters and backgrounds, who also contributed item designs to Dragon Quest IV. The discussion covers the design philosophy behind the action shooter hybrid, emphasizing the goal of making the game enjoyable and avoiding frustrating instant deaths, a key element of their game design approach. They detail the game's structure, confirming it features 13 varied stages. The interview delves into the collaborative process between game design, character design, and background art, explaining how concepts were translated into the final game visuals and the challenges involved in balancing artistic vision with technical constraints. Screenshots showcase the game's vibrant combat with Elysia and her companions battling creatures, alongside a view of the password system implemented to allow players to save progress. The team discusses the workflow, highlighting the iterative process of discussion and refinement that shaped the game's unique look and feel. This page continues the deep dive into Elysia Dragoon's creation, moving beyond general game design to focus on the specifics of map and monster design. The developers discuss the process of bringing their concepts to life in pixel art. The area map section shows how detailed initial illustrations, even including elements not seen on screen like cross-sections, were created first, then refined and translated into the game's environments, minimizing the gap between the artistic vision and the final pixel graphics. An example contrasts a sketch of a map area with its in-game counterpart. The characters section highlights two design approaches and focuses on the game's option monsters and enemies. It reveals the wide variety of option monsters, ranging from the cute fairy-like companions seen in the gameplay screenshot to formidable, dragon-like creatures. Illustrations and pixel art examples showcase the design process for various enemy types, including a soldier, a slime, and larger foes, demonstrating how initial concepts were adapted into the final sprites. This page presents a feature titled the 91 Mega Drive User Awareness Report, based on data gathered from 100 readers. Published about 2.5 years after the Mega Drive's release, it reflects on the rapidly evolving gaming scene and how user opinions have shifted since the console's debut. The report touches upon the impact of rivals like the Super Nintendo, released the previous year, and explores reader expectations for upcoming hardware like the Mega CD and new software. The text highlights that the findings, based on a questionnaire completed by randomly selected readers as of February 1st, offer a glimpse into user feedback and could provide insight into the Mega Drive situation in the latter half of the year. The page includes a clear image of the Mega Drive console itself and a stylized illustration. This page delves into the 91 Mega Drive user survey, examining who Mega Drive owners are and what they want. It highlights a shift from the initial perception of users as hardcore action and shooting game enthusiasts primarily interested in arcade ports. While that was the focus early on, the data shows Mega Drive users are increasingly seeking a wider variety of genres, particularly RPGs and simulation games, rather than just focusing on clearing difficult action titles. The survey also reveals that Mega Drive users are often multi-console owners, with a very high percentage also owning an NES, and a significant majority owning or planning to buy a Super NES. This suggests platform loyalty is less important than the availability of interesting software. Regarding their game collections, most users own between 6 and 15 Mega Drive titles, though a substantial number have larger libraries, showing a dedicated but perhaps not universally mania level of purchasing compared to initial assumptions. The most striking finding is the user demand for RPGs on the Mega Drive, followed by simulations, indicating a clear desire for different experiences than the console's early action-heavy library. The magazine notes that the software lineup is starting to finally match these evolving user expectations. This page features the results of the 91 Mega Drive user survey, specifically focusing on the most anticipated upcoming games and which titles users most want to see ported to the Mega Drive. The survey on anticipated games confirms the trend noted previously, with RPGs and simulations topping the list, including high interest in titles like Shining Force and what is likely Phantasy Star IV, showing users are eager for original Mega Drive experiences in these genres. The survey on desired ports reveals a strong demand for flagship titles from competing platforms, particularly popular RPGs such as Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest from the Super Famicom library. This highlights that many Mega Drive owners are multi-system players keen to see major hits available on their preferred console. Below the surveys, an article by industry figure J.M. Ojisan discusses the state of the Mega Drive market, asserting that it is entering a significant growth phase. He notes the strong performance of the system and its software, particularly third-party titles and Mega Drive originals, suggesting a shift away from being solely reliant on arcade ports. He believes the Mega Drive is poised to attract a broader audience and sees a great opportunity for success, especially if more high-quality RPGs and simulations are released. Sega is expanding its hardware offerings, beginning with the upcoming CD-ROM add-on for the Mega Drive. This promises enhanced storage and richer gaming experiences, similar to PC Engine CD-ROM titles, with improved animation and audio. Sega aims for a release this year, alongside Sony's Super Famicom CD-ROM unit, indicating a broader market trend. The text also covers the Sega Terra, a hybrid system launched the previous year. This machine combines Mega Drive and IBM PC/AT compatibility, featuring dual CPUs to run software from both platforms, including VGA graphics capabilities. While the planned 100,000 yen price point is noted as a potential hurdle, Sega plans construction software to encourage user-created games, aiming to expand the Mega Drive's capabilities. This page provides insights into Mega Drive users' expectations for upcoming hardware. Regarding the CD-ROM add-on, an overwhelming 83% expressed intent to purchase it even before details like price or specific software were announced, highlighting significant anticipation for the expanded possibilities it offers, particularly large-capacity software. When asked what software they want, RPGs top the list, followed by content emphasizing visuals and rich audio, complete game ports, and compilation titles featuring previously released classics. There's also interest in other applications like electronic publishing and tools, while concerns about the potential lack of quality software are noted. Shifting to the Terra system, which combines Mega Drive and PC functionality, the purchase intent is much lower, with only 14% saying they would buy it. The high price point compared to traditional game consoles like the Mega Drive is a major factor, alongside the complexity of the machine and a perceived lack of information. For those who would buy the Terra, the primary intended use is playing games, followed by creating game software and programming. Other uses like music composition, graphics, databases, and word processing received less interest, suggesting its appeal is strongest for users interested in deep creative tools alongside traditional gaming. This page details user desires for the Terra system, focusing on software and peripherals. Poll results reveal strong demand for ported games, especially the YS series, with significant interest in other titles like Phantasy Star, GLOC, and Final Fantasy. Users also requested a diverse range of software, including SimEarth, Populous, and Dungeon Master. Regarding peripherals, CD-ROM support is the most desired feature, followed by printers, mice, modems, hard disks, and MIDI boards. These requests indicate a desire to extend the Terra's functionality beyond gaming, embracing PC capabilities for data storage, external device connectivity, and enhanced multimedia experiences. Overall, the focus is on popular, visually appealing games, alongside the addition of standard PC peripherals. This page kicks off a new series called the HT Lecture, diving into technology and game concept trends, and their potential impact on future home entertainment. Starting with the buzz around VR. It clarifies that VR isn't just about fast cars, but about using computer power to create and experience non-existent realities, ideally using stereoscopic displays and sound. The article includes a personal take on the abstract nature of VR, likening it to a reggae musician trying to structure complex mathematical concepts without symbols. It discusses the technical side, explaining how software can render 360-degree movement and 3D spaces, even showing how drawing a simple floor plan can instantly generate a navigable virtual room. The piece also notes that current experience-based games are already incorporating VR elements within technological limits, mentioning the Power Glove as a peripheral linked to this evolution. Specific software examples like The Colony for exploring virtual spaces and Walkthrough, a tool for creating them, are highlighted as key examples in the history of VR development, suggesting that combining tools like a polygonizer with peripherals like the Power Glove could form the basis for future home VR games. This page delves into the complex world of game release dates, exploring why they are often delayed. It kicks off a special feature asking the crucial question: why are release dates so often pushed back? The article highlights that while release date information is vital for players, it's notoriously difficult to get accurate details, even for magazines. The piece explains the typical process for deciding a software's release date, starting from the initial planning stages and requiring submission of project proposals to Sega. The actual production often begins only after Sega's approval, and even then, the initial planned release window can be set quite early in the process. However, as the section titled "Roma was not built in a day" implies, game development is fraught with potential issues. Development delays are a major reason for postponements, but the article also points out that Sega's review and approval system for third-party titles, as well as commercial and sales considerations, add further layers of complexity that can lead to significant delays. Examples of games mentioned include Bahamut Senki, which saw its release delayed slightly due to business reasons, and Adaisen Ryaku, a strategy game whose release was repeatedly pushed back because of development hurdles. The page includes screenshots of what appear to be these strategy or simulation games. The next page continues the special feature, asking, what about those games now? It specifically focuses on titles like Moondancer and Patlabor, noting that while screenshots were once shown, their development is currently on hold. The article explores the reasons behind such delays or cancellations, linking them to development hurdles, business decisions, and the complexities of timing. It also briefly mentions Shining in the Darkness in the context of anticipated RPGs and their release schedules. Another section asks how much readers' voices are considered. It explains that while business and licensing issues, like those affecting licensed games such as Dick Tracy, featured with a screenshot, can dictate releases, publishers do pay attention to strong user demand. The magazine positions itself as a conduit between readers and game manufacturers, suggesting that reader feedback can influence the status of games, potentially even reviving stalled projects. The page emphasizes the importance of a game's vitality and the strategic considerations behind its release. This page is a detailed advertisement for the Kix 91 control box, presented as 1991's protagonist and the best partner for satisfying a gamer's intellectual curiosity. It highlights key features like terminal support for sharp video and powerful sound. The control box boasts 5 main features, including improved video quality via a full-color video converter and enhanced sound output. It also details rapid-fire options and self-checking LEDs. The Kix 91 is available in 3 types, A, B, C, with varying configurations and prices, suitable for different display setups including standard TVs and RGB monitors. An optional Mahjong panel is also advertised, allowing for specific game experiences. Additionally, the page promotes a PCB rental club for members and provides ordering details, store locations, and business hours for KICKK, the company behind the product. This page is all about getting your hands on overseas software, specifically highlighting how you can play American Genesis games on your Japanese Mega Drive, featuring titles like the God Simulation Classic Populous and the martial arts fighter Budokan. It also lists other popular import games like the Puzzle Challenge Clax and the intense shooter Battle Squadron, promising unique experiences not commonly found in Japan. It also covers American NES games that can be played on the Japanese Famicom using a special adapter sold separately. This includes gems like the dungeon-crawling action of Gauntlet and Gauntlet 2, the expansive RPG adventures of Dragon Quest, listed as Dragon Warrior, the groundbreaking Legend of Zelda, and even the original Japanese Super Mario Bros. 2, often known internationally as the Lost Levels. Other notable NES imports include the arcade platformer Strider and the iconic Castlevania. To order these titles, you first need to check availability and total cost by phone, then send the payment via cash or money order, along with a memo detailing your information and the games you want. Your order is expected to arrive about 10 days after confirmation. The company handling these imports is Messe Sano Company, Limited, and you can reach their mail order division during business hours on weekdays. This page is a mail order catalog from a company called Hop, offering a selection of popular game consoles and software. You can find systems like the Famicom, Game Boy, various PC Engine models including the Core Graphics, Super Graphics, GT, and CD-ROM squared system, plus the Game Gear and Mega Drive, all available for purchase at special mail order prices below their standard retail cost. Beyond the hardware, there's an extensive list of games for each console, ranging across genres from RPGs and action games to simulations and sports titles. Many well-known releases are featured, along with upcoming games showing their planned release months. The page provides instructions on how to order via telephone and mail, detailing the process of checking stock, confirming costs, and sending payment. It highlights that prices are for mail order only and includes contact information for the company. From a Japanese perspective, this article analyzes the Sega Genesis market in America. Launched in September 1989, the Genesis, the US version of the Mega Drive, had sold 1.6 to 1.7 million units within a year and a half, with a goal of 1.5 million more sales. Support from 19 third-party developers, including Japanese companies, was growing, with significantly more software releases planned. The user base, primarily aged 12 to 17, was older than the NES's. Hardware penetration mirrored that of Japan. The US software library was expanding, with the Super Famicom, SNES, expected to boost the 16-bit market. Games like Dick Tracy and Joe Montana Football were examples of available titles. The article concludes with a positive outlook, bolstered by the Genesis's successful presence at the Las Vegas CES show. This page explores the question of whether popular Genesis software from America will be released in Japan. Recent Mega Drive titles like Dick Tracy and Joe Montana Football originated on the Genesis, suggesting this trend could continue. The article notes that while Sega doesn't exclusively handle this, American third-party developers might release games themselves or license them to Japanese companies, citing Activision's Mandu's Fight Palace being released as Fato Man by Sanritsu Denki as an example. It hopes American third parties will create high-quality games suitable for international release. The page also introduces 2 American magazines for Genesis enthusiasts: Sega Vision, a free PR publication from Sega of America, and Mega Play, an enthusiast magazine featuring strategy guides and game reviews. Images on the page include a Genesis Does It All advertisement, highlighting third-party support and the official Sega seal of quality, alongside various covers and flyers from American gaming magazines showcasing titles like Swamp Thing, Bimini Run, and Strider, some of which may not have been available in Japan. A list is provided detailing several American Genesis third-party developers and some of their titles, including Activision, Electronic Arts with Populous, Namco Hometex with Philios and Burning Force, and others, demonstrating the growing roster of companies supporting the platform in the U.S. This page delves into American game magazines to understand what games are popular with Genesis owners in the U.S. It highlights the Game Player's Excellence Awards, listing winners across various genres. Top titles included the action classic Strider, the RPG Sword of Vermilion, the puzzle game Columns, the simulator Hard Drivin', and the strategy hit Populous. The Sports Award went to the basketball game Lakers vs. Celtics, and the best war game was Herzog Zwei. The article notes the surprise popularity of sports games and highlights that some award winners, like Populous and Lakers vs. Celtics, were unreleased in Japan at the time. Special awards were given to games like Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, Budokan, The Martial Spirit, and Hellfire, with a brief description of Budokan's unique martial arts gameplay. The page also touches upon the content of Mega Play magazine, showing off review scores. A table at the bottom lists several American third-party developers and some of the Genesis titles they were releasing or planning, featuring games like Gaiars, Thunder Force 2i, and Space Invaders 91. This page features a review of recommended Genesis software available in Japan, highlighting titles popular in the US. It starts with a review of Budokan, the martial spirit, describing it as a genuine martial arts game with unique characters and simple controls, noting how it portrays an interesting American view of Japan. Next up is John Madden Football, praised as a superior football simulation compared to previous efforts like Joe Montana Football, with realistic perspective shifts and gameplay perfect for sports fans. Finally, Populous is reviewed, described as a strategy game where you play as a god, controlling tribes. It's noted as a faithful and arguably easier to control port of the PC version, and a definite collector's item. The page concludes by mentioning that finding these imported Genesis titles is possible in Japan, highlighting Message Suno in Akihabara as a key shop that sells popular imports like Populous, John Madden Football, and Lakers vs. Celtics. This page reviews several Genesis software titles popular in the US. Technocop, despite its violent content and graphic limitations, offers intense action with driving and on-foot segments. Lakers vs. Celtics and the NBA playoffs excels with realistic basketball gameplay. Sword of Sodan is a fantasy action game with striking graphics but lacks enemy variety and balance. Zany Golf provides a unique mini-golf experience. Battle Squadron is a challenging arcade shooter, while Clax offers a distinctive atmosphere and features. Ishido, The Way of Stones is a simple yet engaging puzzle game. The reviews conclude by highlighting the Genesis strengths in sports games and the sometimes inconsistent difficulty adjustments in US action games. This page kicks off the Be Mega Hot Menu Part 3, showcasing the latest releases hitting the scene. The main feature here is the adventure game based on the popular anime, Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, developed by Namco, and slated for a March 19th release, utilizing a substantial 8 megabits. The reviewers are clearly excited about Nadia making her way to the Genesis, highlighting it as a must-play, even if you're not already a fan. This article delves into chapters 3 and 4, covering the middle portion of the story. The 8 megabit cartridge size is praised for allowing detailed visual presentation that truly captures the atmosphere of the original anime. A significant portion of the page is dedicated to recapping the story up through chapters 1 and 2. It recounts the initial meeting of Jean and Nadia in Paris during the 1889 exposition, Nadia's mysterious jewel Blue Water, the interference from Grandice and her gang, and how Jean rescues Nadia. The summary continues with their escape, a crash landing on a mysterious island, meeting the young girl Marie, and discovering a massive iron ship underground, setting the stage for the adventures to come. The page includes several screenshots illustrating key moments from this early part of the story, and some character art. This page delves deeper into Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, focusing on the events of Chapter 3. Following their narrow escape from the exploding island, Jean and Nadia are rescued and brought aboard the mysterious vessel, the Nautilus. Here they encounter Electra, the ship's beautiful and enigmatic first officer. Jean is captivated by Electra and the advanced technology of the Nautilus, which is far beyond anything from the 19th century. The page notes Mary becomes ill and is taken to the infirmary. It also unveils the Nautilus's crucial mission, to confront and defeat the Neo-Atlantean battle submarine, the Gargoyle. New key characters introduced include the stoic Captain Nemo, Electra, and the formidable Gargoyle submarine itself, shown alongside screenshots of various locations on the Nautilus like Electra's room and the bridge. This page takes you on a tour of the Nautilus submarine, guided by Electra. The article highlights the immense size and advanced technology of the vessel, noting its facilities are far beyond what was possible in the 19th century. Fitting for the science fiction nature of Nadia. It presents an overview of 16 key locations within the ship, each with a small pixelated screenshot. You get to see rooms like the bridge, dining hall, infirmary, power distribution room, captain's room, torpedo launch room, and even the solitary confinement cell where the Grandice gang is currently being held. The feature also touches on the origin of the Nautilus name from Jules Verne's novel and contrasts the ship's design in the TV anime version, which is said to resemble a spaceship, with its appearance in the game. It's a detailed look at the setting where much of the game's action takes place. This page details the escalating conflict in the game Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, starting with a sudden attack by gargoyle forces on the Nautilus. Nadia is captured during the chaos. Jean attempts to rescue her, but Captain Nemo advises prioritizing the repair of the damaged Nautilus before pursuit, a pragmatic move given the circumstances. The action then shifts to the pursuit of Gargoyle's mobile fortress, the Garfish. Captain Nemo, now with a repaired ship, uses the unique frequency of the blue water to track the enemy. A risky plan is hatched. The Nautilus engages the Garfish in a direct battle to create a diversion, while a special ops team, including Jean, infiltrates the fortress via a submersible. Screenshots show the intense ship-to-ship combat and the submersible launch. Inside the Garfish, the mission quickly turns deadly. The team, initially planning to split up, is immediately confronted by formidable robot guards. The fight is brutal, and the team is decimated. Only Jean and the mission leader, Dean, manage to escape to the hangar bay. Wounded, Dean makes a heroic sacrifice, handing Jean a map and bombs before confronting the robots alone, leaving Jean as the sole survivor within the enemy fortress. It's a harsh turn, putting Jean in a dire situation. Brief summary. Gargoyle attacks the Nautilus, captures Nadia. Jean infiltrates the enemy fortress, but is left alone after his team is wiped out by robot guards. This page details Jean's mission within the enemy Garfish fortress in Nadia, the secret of blue water. Following Dean's final instructions, Jean must destroy the Babel system, which consists of the main Babel tower and 4 surrounding energy acceleration towers. The page describes the fortress layout, hints at finding Nadia imprisoned nearby, and explains that destroying the 4 energy towers is the key to disabling the entire system. After successfully planting bombs, Jean heads back to the hangar to escape with Nadia via a waiting submarine. However, they are ambushed by Gargoyle and his forces. In a surprising turn, Grandis, Sanson, and Gratin arrive to rescue Jean and Nadia, leading to their successful escape. As a result of their timely intervention, Grandis and her crew are finally welcomed aboard the Nautilus. Brief summary. Jean destroys the Babel system, rescues Nadia, and escapes with Grandis's help, who then joins the Nautilus crew. This page continues the story of Nadia, the secret of blue water on the Sega Mega Drive, following the escape from the Garfish. It covers events aboard the Nautilus after Grandis and her crew have joined. We see characters settling into their assigned quarters, highlighting the various occupants like Jean, Nadia, Grandis, Sanson, Hanson, Marie, and even King. The narrative focuses on the search for the legendary continent of Atlantis. Captain Nemo enlists the help of Jean, Sanson, and Hansen to find a crucial stone tablet that holds the key to its location. The game reveals the existence of 3 Atlantises: land, sea, and sky, and that Gargoyle is now targeting the Sky Atlantis for its powerful weapons. After the stone tablet is found and decoded, it points the way to the Sea Atlantis, which is dramatically discovered emerging from the depths, surrounded by dolphins. The team prepares to explore this ancient underwater city via submarine, noting the strange, ancient air within the deep-sea location. This page delves into the depths of the Sea Atlantis labyrinth in Nadia, the secret of blue water, detailing the challenging puzzles and mechanisms guarding the legendary Mask of Knowledge, alongside revealing other potent Atlantean superweapons. Entering the complex underwater temple, players face a maze filled with one-way paths and cunning traps. Hints for overcoming these obstacles are often found on ancient stone tablets. The article highlights the variety of mechanisms, from pools of lava that need to be drained by activating distant switches, to intricate puzzles like the 6-pointed star, which requires touching points in a specific sequence. A tricky challenge even for seasoned adventurers. A strange illusion briefly teleports the heroes to a scene resembling Paris, adding to the labyrinth's mystery. The true prize within is the Mask of Knowledge, said to contain the accumulated wisdom of the advanced Atlantean civilization. This ancient power, along with other described legacies like the undersea fortress Bardagram, the powerful Babel reflective satellite cannon, and the airborne battleship Kritia Myos, are depicted as weapons capable of world conquest. Screenshots showcase specific puzzle rooms, providing direct hints for some, such as confirming the answer is always yes to questions posed by the 3 maidens, and revealing Anne as the answer to a question about the origin of the world in the questioning room puzzle. Captain Nemo's extensive knowledge of Atlantis is noted as crucial to navigating these ancient trials. This page plunges into the dramatic climax of Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, detailing the treacherous moment Nemo is trapped by the villainous gargoyle. The shock of Elektra's apparent betrayal is highlighted as she turns her weapon on Nemo, questioning if she was a spy all along. This leads to a devastating attack on the Nautilus, surrounded by Gargoyle's Garfish forces and even targeted by the falling Bartigram fortress from above. The reviewer notes that these intense battle sequences, particularly the submarine versus submarine combat, faithfully capture the spirit of the original anime series. Following Elektra's pivotal act, the narrative delves into the revelations that follow, mirroring the anime's progression. Key mysteries begin to unravel, including the true reasons behind the fall of the Vandegrund Kingdom, the secret of Nadia's birth, Captain Nemo's hidden identity, and the revelation of Neo as the rightful heir to Atlantis. The article mentions that the anime story was reaching its climax at the time, with the Nautilus's revival adding to the tension, a story reflected in the game. Screenshots depict these crucial moments: the confrontation with Gargoyle, the overwhelming attacks on the Nautilus, the masked Neo of Atlantis, and the fate of Nadia and Jean after being captured. The page underscores that the remaining mysteries, such as the Nautilus's ultimate fate and the destiny of Nadia and Jean, keep players hooked. This page features Veritex, a highly anticipated vertical scrolling shooter on the Mega Drive. The article highlights its status as a culmination of the vertical scrolling trend seen in games like Twin Cobra and Elemental Master, praising its multi-layer scrolling and enemies that fly in from the background, which creates a powerful sense of depth. The game boasts a robust power-up system with 6 distinct item types: normal shot, straight laser, boomerang laser, homing missile, bomb, and shield. Each main weapon has 3 power levels, and the page shows how the ship's firepower evolves through these stages, emphasizing the strategic necessity of choosing the right weapon for each situation. The reviewer seems impressed by the game's execution of the genre fundamentals and its depth. The next page continues the Veritex guide, detailing the challenges and tactics for the game's initial stages. Stage 1 is set in space and a space station, described as surprisingly difficult for the first stage. Playing without power-ups makes even basic enemies tough. The critical part is reaching the first items: missile and shield. Acquiring items makes the rest much easier. Using a bomb early on is also a viable tactic. The stage offers normal shots, 1 homing missile, 1 bomb, and 4 shields. A notable enemy spreads horizontally and requires focused fire on one side while dodging the other. Normal shot is the recommended weapon early on until you can power it up. Stage 2 takes place in the Syracuse Planet region, featuring fast and intense enemy attacks, including some that appear from behind. Keeping a shield is advisable. The homing missile is particularly effective against enemies approaching from the rear, and 3 are available in this stage. The item distribution changes, with 2 straight lasers and 1 boomerang laser also appearing, in addition to 3 normal shots, 1 bomb, and 3 shields. The enemies from behind move quickly and require quick reactions. The boss fires lasers and small enemies. Homing missiles are crucial here. The straight laser is highlighted as a good weapon for clearing out enemies. The guide strongly suggests homing missiles are vital for managing Stage 2, making it significantly harder without them. This page delves into Stage 3 of Veritex, set high above the ruins of planet Syracuse. The stage starts with a generous 4 power-up items, making the beginning relatively easy if you choose wisely. While individual enemies aren't particularly tough, they frequently appear in large groups, which poses a challenge. The stage item distribution is listed, notably featuring 3 boomerang lasers but 0 straight lasers. The section on important enemies highlights a squid-like enemy that attacks in large numbers, difficult to hit due to its erratic movement. There's also a large mechanical enemy whose head is a weak point, but hitting it is tricky because it moves erratically. The stage boss consists of 2 core units that swap positions while attacking with lasers and smaller enemies. Homing missiles are essential for this fight, as they can reliably track the mobile cores. The boomerang laser is recommended for dealing with the numerous smaller enemies that appear in Stage 3. The side column offers quick tips. Beware of enemies approaching from the rear as your defense is weak there. Using the nozzle attack from behind is a strategic move. Some bomb uses might not be effective depending on the situation. And remember that you need to tap the button to fire homing missiles. Holding it down won't work. Looking ahead, the next issue promises a thorough guide to the remaining stages 4 through 7, aiming to make you a complete Veritex master. The Veritex Trial Events Series, starting February 10th at Shinjuku Yodobashi Camera, is detailed in this report. Despite rain, the Shinjuku event on the 5th floor saw a strong turnout. Competitors played Veritex on MegaDrive for 2 minutes, aiming for the highest score, with bonus points for surviving ships. Participants included high school and college students. Oka Tatsuya from Tokyo won first place with 56,150 points, earning a Game Gear. Second and third place were closely contested. Koji Yoshizawa from Shinjuku Yodobashi Camera praised Veritex's enjoyment and anticipated its successful March release. The report concludes by previewing the next event coverage from Osaka/Nipponbashi on March 10th. The next page is dedicated to the strategy game Zan, Yasha and Bukyoku from Wolf Team, set during the turbulent Sengoku period. This simulation title pits 3 major factions against each other in a fight for national unification. The article highlights the distinct strategies and victory conditions for each power: the demonic Maku, the destined Yasha, and the neutral Chukan, led by historical figures. Screenshots display the strategic map view used for commanding units and territories, along with basic faction status information. The page also features impressive character artwork, focusing on what the reviewer describes as the main character, likely from the Yasha faction. While acknowledging the appeal of playing as Yasha, the content points out their complex victory conditions and suggests that beginners might find, starting with the Maku faction, an easier path. In Zan, Yasha and Bukyoku, victory hinges on capturing enemy generals, as defeated generals bolster the opponent's forces. The primary goal is to weaken the enemy through strategic battles, initiating combat only when victory is assured. 2 key tactics are presented: leveraging supporting generals to increase troop numbers before battles, and capturing castles and fortresses. Prioritizing numerical superiority is crucial, as is controlling locations that replenish troops and demon power. The middle camp faction, lacking magic, must rely on fortresses for reinforcement. Maintaining high troop strength and utilizing supporting generals is critical for this faction and all players, emphasizing overwhelming opponents with superior numbers. This guide focuses on strategic gameplay for Zan, Yasha, and Bukyoku. Hidden treasures provide significant advantages, accessed through a multi-step process and requiring high-ranking generals for appraisal. Tactical use of magic, especially for factions like Night Yaksha and Maku, can dramatically increase troop numbers with spells like Earth Demon Summon. Meetings are crucial for the Night Yaksha faction, allowing for recruitment of enemy generals, especially those inclined towards the faction. The plot command is vital for gathering intelligence on enemy troop strengths. For the Maku faction, the primary goal is reviving the Death Demon God, achieved by finding the Book of Demon God. Be wary of Akechi Mitsuhide, a spy who will eventually betray you. Unification as Maku is considered easier due to capable generals, but vigilant monitoring of Night Yaksha's key figures, Saizo and Inatsu, is essential. This page delves into the strategic simulation RPG Zan, Yaksha and Bukyoku for the Mega Drive. It introduces the titular Yaksha clan, ancient guardians who have fought against the demon world for a millennium, highlighting the key characters Saizo, Iori, and Sara. The article frames the game as building upon previous entries, like Yaksha, incorporating strong fantasy elements. The main focus is a guide for the Night Yaksha faction's campaign to unify Japan and, more importantly, seal the demon world's base in Ezo. It provides crucial advice, noting the lack of castles in Ezo requires sending generals with significant troop strength. Key story events and objectives are detailed, including rescuing allies, reuniting with figures like Louis Froid, who brings a vital item, and the poignant reunion of the protagonists Saizo and Iori. The guide culminates in the discovery of the path to Ezo, the stronghold of the demon world's leaders, the Maku 3 generals, Rei Oni, Koryu, Jami, and the final confrontation with the formidable death demon god, Shimashin, showcasing screenshots of these powerful enemies. Gathering the necessary guard swords is emphasized as essential for victory in this climactic battle. This page features the strategic simulation game Romance of the Three Kingdoms Retsuden, Heroes of the Chaotic Age for the Sega Mega Drive. Based on the renowned Chinese classical novel, the article highlights its popularity and long history in simulation games. The page emphasizes that this particular installment is designed to be accessible even to players unfamiliar with the source material, focusing on strategic gameplay while still appreciating the rich narrative. An illustration depicts the famous Peach Garden Oath, marking the beginning of the story with Liu Bei, Guanyu, and Zhangfei. A unique aspect of the game's system is detailed. Actions are divided between turns in odd and even months. Odd months are dedicated to internal affairs, diplomacy, and strengthening your nation, shown with a screenshot of a map and menu. Even months are for military operations like troop movement and combat, which proceeds in real time, featuring action elements for duels between officers, potentially allowing for tactical turnarounds. The article notes that this unconventional system allows for more detailed strategic planning. Screenshots show the two different turn interfaces. This page explores the historical scenarios and key characters of Romance of the Three Kingdoms Retsuden, Heroes of the Chaotic Age. The game features two scenarios. Peach Garden Oath, 189 ad, depicts the Han Dynasty's decline, and the Yellow Turban Rebellion, introducing pivotal figures like Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei, as well as rivals Cao Cao, Sun Quan, and Yuan Shao. It also covers Dong Zhuo's tyranny and the coalition against him. Character profiles with portraits and stats are provided for key figures such as Liu Bei, Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, Cao Cao, Dong Zhuo, and Lu Biyu. Age of Chaos, 200 ad, centers on the Battle of Red Cliffs, showcasing Cao Cao's attempt to conquer the south and the subsequent naval battle. Following Dong Zhuo's death, the land is engulfed in further conflict, allowing warlords to rise. The article previews starting points and major players within this strategic game, highlighting Cao Cao and Liu Bei's roles in the chaos. This page details Scenario 3, 215 ad. Establishment of the Three Kingdoms, in Romance of the Three Kingdoms, highlighting Liu Bei recruiting Zhu Zhiliang and introducing Shu generals. This page delves into the gameplay of Romance of the Three Kingdoms, specifically highlighting the turn structure and available actions. It explains the crucial odd-month system, where players must choose one primary phase for their actions: domestic affairs, diplomacy, or military. Once a phase is chosen for the month, only commands within that phase can be executed, requiring careful planning. Within each phase, a wide array of commands are available. Domestic affairs includes actions like development, welfare, education, moving officers, appointing roles, transporting goods, gathering information, and adjusting the tax rate. Diplomacy offers options for forming or breaking alliances, executing strategies like schemes, borrowing resources, or repaying debts. The military phase covers recruiting troops, searching for talented officers or scouting enemies, managing weapons, bolstering city defenses, and training units to improve morale. The page also introduces three more iconic figures from the Three Kingdoms era. The brilliant Wei strategist Sima Yi, often compared to Zhu Zhiliang, the Wu general Lu Xun, known for his strategic victories, and the fierce Wu warrior Gan Ning. These characters, like others in the game, have unique portraits and stats influencing their effectiveness in different commands. The overall message is that managing your domain outside of battle requires careful tactical decisions each turn. The next page moves into the military aspects of Romance of the Three Kingdoms, focusing on preparing for and engaging in battle. It details the process of deployment, showing a screen where you select the destination, troops, and supplies, emphasizing the importance of preparation before marching out. Once deployed, units move on the strategic map in real time towards their objective. The game transitions into a real-time combat mode upon encountering enemy forces. This section explains troop placement and movement on the battlefield, highlighting the shift from the overall map to localized combat scenarios. Players must strategically position their units. During combat, various tactical maneuvers or strategies can be employed, such as using fire attacks, triggering rock slides, or even attempting to persuade enemy units to retreat, though the available strategies depend on the terrain. A unique and thrilling part of combat is the duel, where individual officers can challenge each other in a one-on-one showdown. Winning a duel can significantly impact the battle without expending large numbers of troops. These duels are interactive, allowing players to choose actions like attacking, using special skills, or even attempting to talk their opponent down. This page provides a good overview of the game's dynamic and layered combat system. This page dives into Advanced Daisenryaku, Germany's Blitzkrieg, a deep simulation game arriving on the Sega Genesis. Developed by the same team behind Super Daisenryaku, this title is positioned as a significant evolution, promising years of gameplay within a single cartridge. The game boasts over 40 maps and offers players the choice between a campaign mode, a standard mode, and a modem match mode for online battles. The campaign mode takes players chronologically through World War II, starting with the invasion of Poland in Case White, and potentially leading all the way to Berlin in 1945, with success in each scenario determining the next available map. Standard mode, in contrast, allows players to pick any of the numerous maps to play independently. Significant improvements in this installment include vastly enhanced operability, a massively increased unit count exceeding 400, and new strategic elements like variable capital locations, and massive 8-country battles, pitting Allied forces against Germany and Italy. The game also allows for computer-controlled German forces to appear, adding further depth. The modem match mode addresses the cost of online play by only requiring data transfer at the end of each turn, minimizing connection time. The page highlights the game's depth and strategic options, presenting it as a robust strategy title. Screenshots show the familiar hexgrid map common to the series, a scenario selection list, and an illustration of German soldiers. This page details the highly convenient main and sub-commands within Advanced Dazenryaku. Germany's Blitzkrieg. It explains how the available commands differ based on whether you are at the game's start or actively engaged in gameplay, accessed via specific button presses. At the game start, you have access to core functions like loading games, viewing status information, configuring sound, setting operational control for countries, adjusting scouting and weather rules, and accessing system options before beginning. During gameplay, the command system evolves. Pressing the sub-command button multiple times brings up different categories of menus. 3 presses grant access to strategic overviews and automated actions like the all-automatic function for supply or construction, the overall map for unit tracking, the unit list, status, income, and development tables for detailed management. 2 presses of the sub-command button lead to the essential record menu, allowing you to save, load, surrender, or abort the game, with a welcome 3 save slots now available. A single press of the sub button provides local map information, while the main command button is dedicated to tactical unit commands like move, attack, supply, development, and more. Screenshots throughout the page demonstrate these various menu interfaces, highlighting how the game provides easy access to extensive strategic and operational control, crucial for navigating this deep simulation title. This guide provides optimization tips for Advanced Dazenryaku, Germany's Blitzkrieg. For a clearer map, turn off hex lines. Speed up combat animations by setting battle screen speed to fast. Beginners should start with scouting on medium, making enemy units visible, and weather off to avoid complicating factors. Medium scouting surprisingly simplifies AI routing. The guide differentiates between unit evolution, automatic introduction of new unit types based on the game year but with experience loss, and improvement, manual upgrade in production areas using military funds to enhance experience levels. Improvement is often favored. The large unit count refers to unit types from multiple nations evolving through eras, not all units appearing simultaneously. Evolving units replace older models, keeping the game manageable while maintaining strategic depth. This page serves as a beginner's guide to the campaign mode in Advanced Dazenryaku, Germany's Blitzkrieg, highlighting how the complexity and unit types increase across maps. The first scenario, Case White, focuses on basic unit usage. While PZK, PFW-35T, and infantry are deployed, the only tanks you can produce are the PZK, PFW, IB, and IA. The guide notes the PZK, PFW, IA is only slightly different with 1 more machine gun round. The key strategy involves using your PZK, PFW-35 tanks to engage enemy TKS tankettes and supporting your infantry, Tekidan Hei, as they capture cities, which is crucial for victory. The screenshot shows the map and the available production units and their costs for Germany and Poland. The second scenario, Piotrkow, introduces new units, including the PZK PFW-2IE tank and the Opel Blitz transport truck, plus more advanced infantry types. The guide suggests using the experienced PZK PFW-35T, carried over from the previous map, and the new PZK PFW-2IE against enemy tanks. The PZK PFW is recommended for crossing rivers and quickly capturing cities on the other side. A vital objective is to secure bridges quickly and push towards the enemy capital at the bottom of the map, ensuring you protect your captured cities from enemy units that might try to retake them. The screenshot displays this map and the expanded production options and costs for both nations. The Biska River map introduces new units: the SD.KFZ 222 Scout Car, howitzers/cannons, and the Ju-87B Stuka dive bomber, alongside the computer-controlled German Fourth Army as an ally. This map emphasizes indirect fire and air attacks against tough enemy units, like the 155mm howitzer and 7 TP tanks. The primary strategy involves using the Stuka to eliminate the enemy's long-range artillery, particularly the one on the upper right of the map. Players must navigate 3 bridges: an upper route, safer, slower, and a lower route, faster, riskier. Utilize the Stuka to soften defenses, then primarily push tanks across the lower bridges, while simultaneously attacking from multiple directions. Capture cities to cripple the enemy's economy, and use the Fourth Army to draw enemy fire. This page features a report or diary from Ikeda Kizoku, the founder of Remote, detailing the recording process for his second album. Titled, Kizoku's Small Room Volume 3, Tough But Fun Recording Has Begun. It gives a glimpse into the studio life. Kizoku recounts working long hours, focusing on bass and drum tracks initially. He touches on the concept of the album, describing it as exploring the inner conflict of humanity, and expresses confidence in the work despite the challenges. The report includes personal touches, like finding hair in his meal, and needing vitamins due to a poor diet. There's also a brief reflection on White Day, where he admits he prefers receiving gifts to giving them. The page is illustrated with a photo of Kizoku in the studio, and a distinct portrait drawing. The album's release was anticipated for June 25th, though the title was undecided at the time. This page continues the recording diary from Kizoku, detailing the ongoing studio sessions for his album, mentioning long hours but a good atmosphere among the band and staff. There are also sections for fan mail and comments from the recording staff on the album's progress and sound. An interesting photo shows the band members relaxing between sessions, often playing video games, with the current favorite apparently being a shooting game for stress relief. The main gaming content is in the This Month's Software section. Kizoku reports on the games he's been playing. He talks about the mahjong game Gambler Jiko Chushinya, highlighting its realistic simulation as a major plus. He also tried Kinetic Connection on the Game Gear, but found it hard on the eyes and perhaps a bit slow-paced. Looking ahead, he's hoping for something more straightforward and action-oriented for the next month. The page also includes a horror diary section detailing some unsettling experiences and dreams. This page features a visit to the high-tech Sega Western Mansion arcade in Nagasaki. More than just an arcade, this location offers a unique experience, even boasting a restaurant section famous for its Nagasaki champagne, which is highlighted in a small menu box showing prices for the regular and special versions. The article describes the arcade as a high-level date spot or an adult game spot, with a sophisticated atmosphere quite different from typical arcades. It notes the presence of games like World Derby, and mentions a strict policy prohibiting high school students in uniform from entering, reinforcing its adult-oriented concept. The reviewer recounts trying the champagne and exploring the arcade's offerings, emphasizing its distinct mood and focus on providing a premium entertainment experience. It seems this high-tech Sega location aimed to be a refined social space for adults, blending gaming with a dining experience, making it a notable spot in Nagasaki. This page opens with features on the staff of high-tech Sega Western Mansion. The manager, Kajiyama Shigeyuki, shares his philosophy for the arcade, emphasizing the importance of both customer enjoyment and the staff having fun themselves. Alongside this is a profile of Ishida Junko-chan, a female staff member, with some personal details and hobbies, highlighting the friendly atmosphere the arcade aims for, mentioning several other female staff members waiting to welcome visitors. The main portion of the page continues, the Sega Masterpiece Development Secret Stories, with an interview featuring Hisao Oguchi from Sega's AM department. He discusses the development of Super Monaco GP, explaining why the Monaco circuit was chosen due to its prestige in F1. He details the development team size and touches on the challenges of creating the Mega Drive version from the arcade original. The interview also covers aspirations for future racing games, mentioning the recent development of Rad Mobile, which utilized advanced 32-bit technology, and the desire to create games that accurately represent the D-Force experienced in racing. A photo shows the popular World Derby horse racing game area in the arcade, noting its popularity and the wait times. The article concludes by encouraging readers to visit the arcade and enjoy the games in a relaxed, adult manner. This page is dedicated to reader-submitted tips and tricks for Mega Drive games, specifically focusing on Super Volleyball and Cutie Suzuki's Ringside Angel, along with an announcement for a reader contest. For Super Volleyball, there are detailed instructions for executing special moves like the Flash Spike, Inazuma Serve, and Tenjo Serve, explaining the button combinations required. It notes these special techniques can only be used once per set. Another section reveals a secret. Inputting the password Urawaza allows players to challenge a mysterious Pooh team in single-player mode, showcasing screenshots of the password screen and the match against this hidden opponent. The page also covers Cutie Suzuki's Ringside Angel, detailing a trick to select the same wrestler for both players in versus mode. This is achieved by rapidly pressing the A and Start buttons after selecting the first character, as illustrated by screenshots of the character selection screen and a match featuring duplicate fighters. Finally, the page announces the winners of the Major League, listing 9 individuals who achieved strong results. It promises they will be contacted and receive 2 games of their choice. It also previews a new Trick League starting soon, encouraging readers to submit their own game tricks. This article presents reader-submitted tips for Sega Mega Drive games. For Shinobi, tricks include an easy mode, a stage select, and an infinite continue method. Gaira's tips offer a boost to the Woe's power-up, a way to obtain the F-formation weapon by manipulating the score, and an invincible command. Gain Ground's Stage Select allows players to choose stages. The article concludes with a call for submissions to the Megadra Urawaza Daiboshu competition, where readers can submit tricks for a chance to win prizes, ranging from a game of choice to book vouchers, with details on submission requirements. This page features reviews of games available through the Sega Game Library service. First up is Paddle Fighter, described as a unique 2-player air hockey game packed with various features. The goal is to become the universe's top air hockey player. The game features a diverse cast of characters, each with their own special techniques, shown with character profiles and screenshots. Gameplay appears fast-paced, focusing on competitive 2-player matches. It's noted that the 2-player mode is highly recommended for its energy. Next is Phantasy Star II, Huey's Adventure, a text-adventure entry in the Phantasy Star series. This is the 5th text-adventure release, maintaining high-quality content. Huey's story involves investigating a mysterious creature appearing on the university campus. Screenshots show typical text-adventure elements like character portraits, menu options for interaction, and even a battle against a plant creature, indicating there are combat sections within the narrative. Both Paddle Fighter and Huey's Adventure became available on the service starting in March. The page concludes by mentioning the Sega Game Library is rapidly expanding. It briefly refers to a previously reviewed title, Konekokushan, and teases upcoming editions scheduled for April, including Hyper Marbles and Yusi's Adventure. The library service is clearly becoming a significant platform for distributing a variety of unique titles. This page features a review of Taito's popular arcade title, Chase H.Q, for the Sega Game Gear. The review highlights the game's thrilling car chase action, which involves pursuing and ramming criminal vehicles until they are stopped. This unique gameplay loop, distinct from traditional circuit racing, was a major hit in both Japan and the US, leading to sequels. The Game Gear version is described as a faithful port of the arcade game, enhanced by an original feature called Parts Select. This system allows players to convert points earned by quickly capturing criminals into temporary power-ups for their car within a specific stage, adding a strategic layer. Screenshots showcase the game's visuals during chases. The review includes a diamond chart rating the game's operability, game balance, longevity, and audio visuals. The AV aspect, encompassing graphics and sound, received a relatively high score. The final assessment notes that while the controls might feel slightly off, the Game Gear port is generally competent, especially benefiting from the system's color screen compared to versions on other platforms. The inclusion of the Parts Select mode is presented as a point of discussion. This page features a review of Castle of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse for the Sega Game Gear. The reviewer expresses surprise at the level of action achieved on the Game Gear, noting that while the content is similar to the Sega Genesis/Mega Drive version, the graphics quality is impressive for the handheld. Key differences highlighted are new attack methods for Mickey and the character art style being closer to older black and white cartoons. Screenshots show various vibrant stage environments, including a forest and a clock tower. The game is described as a horizontal scrolling action game, where Mickey must rescue Minnie from the evil witch Mizrabel, collecting 7 gems. The reviewer praises Mickey's animation and movement fidelity to the Genesis version. A rating chart indicates scores, with AV, audio/visual, and operability rated, though the AV score is considered in the context of the Game Gear's capabilities. The points section highlights a new ability: throwing objects like stones found in stages. The final summary praises the game's overall balance and recommends it, despite the difficulty being slightly higher than the Genesis version. The game's production by Disney and Sega is noted, suggesting a strong collaborative effort resulting in a quality title that captures the Disney spirit. This page covers upcoming Game Gear titles, starting with Gear Stadium, a remake of Namco's popular Pro Baseball Family Stadium series for the handheld. While detailed information wasn't available, the screenshots show gameplay visually similar to its console counterpart, featuring classic baseball action, and even including stadium selection options like Marin and Kawasaki. Next up is Kaniko's action puzzle game, tentatively titled The Berlin Wall. This game involves controlling a character to drop enemies into holes, clearing them from the screen. The description highlights the use of cute characters and suggests unique mechanics from the developer, such as timing-based challenges and enemies reacting angrily when dropped. Finally, Telenet Japan presents Griffon, a vertical scrolling shooter centered around a tank. The game spans 5 rounds and includes strategic elements by allowing players to fix their turret position. Telenet's focus on visual presentation is noted, promising flashy scenes between rounds. The GG Hotline section acts as an editorial wrap-up, discussing the shifting tone of the coverage and teasing more Game Gear news. It mentions other notable upcoming releases, including Taito's arcade port Halley Wars and Sunsoft's Fantasy Zone GOG, which is said to feature an original boss. The editors also hint at potential future coverage of titles like Gambar Gorby, and encourage readers to send in their feedback. This page dives into hot topic video games, focusing on the industry's first 32-bit game. The main feature is Sega's Rad Mobile, built on the new System 32 hardware. The article details the game's setting, a thrilling cross-country race from Los Angeles to New York, highlighting features like rivals, police chases, and dynamic weather effects, including the need to use wipers in the rain, which adds to the realism. A key point discussed is the game's easy controls, a departure from previous Sega driving games, achieved by removing the gear shift. This aims to make the game accessible to everyone, while still offering a realistic driving feel through improved graphics and sound. The magazine notes Sega's plan to share their System 32 hardware know-how with third parties, which is seen as good news for gamers hoping for more 32-bit titles from various developers. The page also lists other notable upcoming arcade games, including Taito's Gun Frontier, Data East's Joe and Mac, Fight, Caveman, Konami's Escape Kids, RoboCop 2, Cotton, and Sonic Blastman. Screenshots show rad mobile gameplay, including police encounters, mountain roads, and night cityscapes with vibrant neon lights, as well as the impressive cabinet and a photo from the press conference announcing the game. The VG Club highlights 3 arcade games. Escape Kids, a Konami sports action title, is a futuristic cyber marathon with 4 characters, 2-player mode, and power-ups. Players race against rivals, navigating obstacle-filled stages, with a bonus stage for winners and a harsh post-race ceremony for losers. Next, Joe and Mac, Fight! Caveman from Data East is a prehistoric action game where players, as Joe and Mac, rescue village girls from dinosaurs. They wield stone and bone weapons, navigate branching paths, and collect egg-based power-ups. Finally, Data East's RoboCop 2, based on the movie, offers 2-player co-op action. Players battle enemies and bosses to reach the exit, utilizing various items, and features a hard-boiled action style. This page features the arcade shooting game Gun Frontier from Taito, a game that blends SF themes with Western drama. The story is set in 2120, involving space development, a gold rush, and an alien attack, where heroes J. Liberty and Freedom Kennedy fight back in their ship, the Desperado. The game consists of 6 distinct rounds, offering varied environments like deserts, forests, the sea, ghost towns, canyons, and cloud seas. The gameplay is straightforward, featuring a simple item system centered around shot and bomber power-ups. Items dropped by enemies include bombers and coins/ingots used to upgrade your main shot power. For players already familiar with the arcade version, the page provides a detailed look at the sea-themed Round 3, showcasing the map and the intense boss battle waiting at the end. Screenshots on the page illustrate the gameplay action, different weapon effects, and the environments, giving a good sense of the game's visual style and mechanics. It highlights Taito's return to the shooting genre with this title. This arcade game review highlights 3 titles. Sonic Blastman, a stress-relieving punch game by Taito, features a dynamic protagonist and varied targets, including a giant monster and a meteorite. Its humorous losing animations add to the fun. Sega's Quiz, Shukudai wo Washurmashita, is a warm-hearted 2-player quiz game spanning the 60s to 80s, fostering nostalgia with its retro feel and bonus stages. Lastly, Cotton, Fantastic Night Dreams, a fantasy horizontal shooter from Sega, offers anime-inspired visuals, flashy magic attacks, and a challenging but rewarding experience. It's highly recommended for its mood and impressive title screen. This page features a special reader giveaway from BeepMD magazine. Readers have the chance to win a variety of prizes, including numerous Sega Mega Drive games and cool merchandise. Among the games offered are classic titles like the dungeon-crawling RPG Shining and the Darkness, the Beat It MUP Golden Axe, the arcade racer Super Monaco GP, and the action games Rampage and Gain Ground. Other game prizes include the shooter Scramble Spirits, the fighting game Kageki, and strategy titles Ambition of Caesar and Bahamut Senki, as well as the anime tie Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water. Beyond the games, winners can also score items like Sonic the Hedgehog pins, Atari logo pens, a Neo Geo carrying bag, and a poster for the arcade racer Rad Mobile. To enter, readers need to send in a postcard. There's also a helpful note for winners that any overseas software prizes will come with an adapter to work on Japanese consoles. This page lays out the inner workings of BeepMD magazine, featuring the staff roster, a direct line for reader questions, and a call for new talent. The staff lists detail the numerous editors, layout artists, photographers, and illustrators who bring the magazine to life. A vibrant, colorful illustration depicts a character in a festive hat playing a musical instrument, likely a magazine mascot or decorative piece. Readers are invited to call the question telephone for inquiries about the magazine's content, though game hints are explicitly excluded. The magazine is also actively seeking new writers and editorial staff, looking for passionate individuals knowledgeable about Mega Drive games and other topics. An editorial message reflects on the magazine nearing its 2nd anniversary, acknowledging the volume of software they've covered. It discusses the need to avoid stagnation and evolve the content to better serve reader interests, soliciting feedback on preferred article types. The message highlights the upcoming May 8th issue release. Finally, a detailed reader survey is presented, asking for demographic info and specific feedback on purchased games like Super Volleyball and Ambition of Caesar, aligning with the previous page's giveaway prizes. It also polls readers on their interest in Sega CD, upcoming Mega Drive titles, desired game ports, and their picks for the best or worst Mega Drive games. This page announces the arrival of Thunder Force 2i, heralded as a powerful and super shooting game. The striking artwork depicts the Rymenia spacecraft engaging a massive, fiery avian creature, set against a backdrop of planets and cosmic dust. The bold red text declares the game is highly praised, now on sale. Featured prominently are 2 small gameplay screenshots showcasing the intense horizontal scrolling action and detailed enemy designs the series is known for. The text explains that Thunder Force 2i refines the acclaimed formula of its predecessor, Thunder Force 2MD, by focusing entirely on the popular horizontal scrolling stages and leveraging new technologies like line scrolling. The game boasts enhanced weapons, larger enemy characters, adjustable ship speed, and significantly improved audio with clear voice samples and stereo sound, promising an even more immersive experience for shooter fans. Additionally, photos of Knuckle and Karu from the Techno Soft Gals Club are shown, with a note that Karu provides voice work in the game, encouraging reader support. The price is listed as 6,800 yen excluding tax. This page is clearly promoting Thunder Force 2i's release, highlighting its technical advancements and exciting gameplay as a significant evolution of the series on the Mega Drive. This page features a large, vibrant advertisement for the game Elemental Master. The main artwork depicts a fantasy scene with a central armored figure, possibly a boss or antagonist, and a protagonist character in the foreground wielding elemental powers, specifically generating a blue energy stream. The background shows a dramatic landscape of jagged rock formations and flowing lava, along with swirling elemental effects. The title, Elemental Master, is prominently displayed in stylized lettering, with the genre noted as fantasy action shooting. Large red text boldly declares, "Here, a new legend begins," and connects the game directly to Technosoft's previous success, stating it is the fourth installment in the battle released by Technosoft, following Thunder Force 2i. Below this, the text proclaims, "Now on sale." Several small screenshots illustrate the top-down vertical scrolling gameplay, showcasing different environments and enemy types encountered in the game. The price is listed as 6,800 yen excluding tax. Technosoft is credited as the developer/publisher, with their contact information provided. This page highlights Elemental Master as a significant new release from Technosoft, building on the company's reputation established by hits like Thunder Force 2i, but shifting genres to a fantasy-themed vertical shooter. This page showcases the Game Gear title Castle of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse. The main artwork depicts Mickey Mouse before a dark, eerie castle, with a witch flying against a full moon, setting the scene for his adventure. The game's premise involves Mickey venturing into a strange castle to rescue Minnie Mouse, who has been kidnapped by the witch Miserabelle. The advertisement highlights that the Game Gear allows players to enjoy Mickey's action-packed quest anywhere they go. Several small screenshots preview the colorful platforming gameplay across various magical environments within the castle. Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse was released on March 21st and retailed for 3,800 yen, offering a portable version of the beloved Disney platformer experience.